Hello, hello. How's everyone doing? Welcome back to the stream. I hope you're enjoying yourselves. I hope you're having a good evening, and I hope you enjoyed the weekend. Doing okay? That's good to hear, Costa. I know work's been stressful for you, so I'm glad you're having a little bit of a break. Or at least things are a little bit easier. Back to solving crimes. Indeed, we're still investigating this one. They got quite a bit of... How are you doing, Dar, as well? Dar and I had a bit of fun on Marauders. Got killed a bit, lost some gear, but you know, it's what happens. Tech Knight Zero, Fat Viking. How are you two doing? Good to see you. They got quite a bit of snow up here in Eagle Mountain. Around here, skis aren't just for fun, they're tools for getting around. But the sled, now that's gotta be for Bikini's own personal entertainment. Bone chills are not fun. Are you still the bone chills? Oh yeah, because you weren't feeling well, right? Have you seen a doctor about it? That building up there is the main hall. It was where we were staying. So it's kind of funny because it was built on a very steep slope. If you enter from the main gate side, these rooms above me are on the ground floor. Apparently, Miss O'Neill was staying in the corner room. Guess that's where she was pushed from that night. Still working from home, haven't fully shaken off COVID yet. I found COVID hits people very differently. When COVID hit me the few times it has, it's always left a lingering fatigue and cough. What is bone chill? I know when I'm ill, I feel those kind of chills. It's you feel cold internally, with no actual real reason, no actual like outside environmental temperature reason. That might be done with it, but it's a feeling. The main gate's on the side of that stone wall. The difference in elevation is almost 10 feet. That's how steep this hillside is. Also, the height of the body fell from, according to the autopsy. Is it possible that Miss O'Neill was pushed from the top of the wall? The Shichishita. It's there in Mr. Amy's right hand. But it was proven in court today that it wasn't the murder weapon. Given the design, it must have been used some pretty gruesome things in the past. Okay, that's that whole thing. Staff. Miss O'Neill's staff. I definitely remember there being a crystal sphere attached to the staff. I guess Larry eventually found the sphere near the foot of Dusky Bridge, but... what was it doing all the way out there? There are a few of these stone lanterns scattered around this courtyard. Let the city glare to compete with, I imagine they would seem a lot brighter. I guess Mr. Bikini must light them now, since Iris can't be here. Anything else here I can look at? Not really. Oh, hey! What was that jarring, inconsiderately loud yell? This is where you've been, keeping nice and warm, I see. Detective, have you finished repair of the bridge? Yeah, I did. I told you I'd let you know. Well, then I'll come along with you, and... sorry, ma'am, no one authorized entering, access restricted to people involved in the case. What was that? I'm involved, aren't I? You couldn't get much more involved than me. Well, yeah, but that's not what I mean. Ah! It's been a while, Scruffy. It's Miss Von Karma. Well, he's unconscious. Sister, please, leave the investigation to me. My. Well, you certainly seem to have everything under control. It doesn't, we made a deal. I'm on your side. I won't do anything you don't want me to. As long as you work to pin the guilt on Iris. What are you daydreaming about, Phoenix, Wright? Ow, that hurts, you know. Silence! I, Francisco Von Karma, will personally guide you through your investigation. So you will follow me. She's not seriously going to follow me around, is she? Oh god, is Franziska going to be our Maya for now? Let's see. Crystal Sphere, it's not from a demon warding. Oh yeah, we already talked about this. And what about that? To think people have the gall to call this kind of scribbling by the name of art. Huh? If that's the sort of standard you need for the art... oh yeah, I already talked about this. Okay, move. Main. Actually, let's go to the courtyard. Let's just write that off in case she has anything to say. She does not have anything to say. Suspension bridge. Okay, I guess that would work. Move. Nope, not Heavenly Hall. Suspension bridge. Move. Inner Temple Gate. They can certainly become a lot more hectic than before. You must have commenced with the investigation. Oh, Mr. Nick. That voice. Oh shit, Pearl's okay. What was Pearl doing on this side of the bridge? Pearls! Mr. Nick! Mr. Nick! So you were here, ever since that night. I was so lonely I thought I was going to die. Poor Pears. When I woke up in the morning and saw that Dusky Bridge was gone, Pearls, I realized I was all alone. She was all alone? It must have been very trying for you, little girl. Ah, I'm Franziska von Karma, the prodigy. There's no need to worry now that I am here. You're the prosecutor who was so mean to Mystic Maya last year. Well, I don't like you. You're nothing but a little girl without your whip. Mystic Maya didn't do anything wrong, but you were so mean. I'll never forgive you. Looks like Pearls' words getting under her skin. Yeah, why are you whipping me? I didn't even say anything. Shots fired from 8-year-old. Objection. Pearls is now 9. You didn't have to. The smile on your lips gave you away. Anyway, Pearls, weren't you with Maya? Ah. I'm sorry, it's all my fault. Huh? What are you talking about, Pearls? Wow, Mystic Maya, and she's gone. Hey, wait, Pearls. She just ran off. Ow! That was cruel, Phoenix, right? To make little girl cry like that is inexcusable. What was that all about? Pearls acting like that. It's giving me the creeps. Guess I better take another look around since I've finally got a chance. Especially since something about this place seems different from 2 days ago. I wonder what it is. Phoenix Wright. What? Would you stop calling me my full name like that? Was this once a prosperous port? A port? Yes, that metal hook is a mooring post for boats, you know? Oh, that's an anchor for one of the wires that is used to hold up the bridge. I think the wire that was tied to this one probably snapped when the bridge burnt down. I mean, there's no way there's ever a port all the way up here. Don't get smart with me, Phoenix Wright. I didn't say anything. You can see Dusky Bridge from here. It's an unusually long bridge, isn't it? I would say it's about 20 yards. Guess the gorge is too wide to cross with a piece of rope or wire, huh? Therefore, no one has crossed the gorge in either direction since the night of the murder. A simple yet sound deduction, wouldn't you say, Phoenix Wright? Okay, sure, whatever. Look at all the Buddha statues lined up along this path. Phoenix Wright, do you think this is how many siblings the head nun has? Why don't you ask her the next time you see her? You know what? I think I will. And she'll probably slap you for prying into her private affairs. The incinerator was used. There's a weird smell coming from that incinerator. The door is also open, almost like it's begging me to look inside. Well, let's see what stunning clue is concealed in here, shall we? Huh? It's empty. How naive of you, Phoenix Wright. It was a bit strange, don't you think, Franziska von Karma? I seem to remember. There was snow on this incinerator the first time I saw it. In other words, someone's been using it to burn something recently. Listen, Phoenix Wright, it's impertinent to call people by their full name. I was only copying you. What a bimpch. Anyway, slide to the right. The sign says Inner Temple. I don't know how you're reading it, but it's incomprehensible to me. Actually, I can't read it either. Failing comprehension isn't a very good habit to have, Phoenix Wright. B-word? Yeah, I know, bimpch. She looks really happy to finally caught me on something. There's a little gate that leads into the garden. It says no entry on the sign, though. Come now, Phoenix Wright. What are you doing? Let's go in. It's half open anyway. What harm could come of it? But it says no entry. I mean, I know there was a murder investigation here, but we still have to abide by all no entry signs. Don't you Americans enjoy doing whatever you like and then simply say whatever? Sorry, print screening. Putting it in memes. Because it is meme-worthy. I got nothing to do with anything. And who told you that? This must be the door that leads to the inner temple, where Maya Fey was training on the night of the murder. Yes, there's a solitary room there called the training hall. You could do some training yourself, Phoenix Wright. Yow! You're completely out of shape. I don't know how much more of this woman I can take. Okay. Training hall. Why is there a psych lock there? ... Why is that like that? What's wrong? Why are you so quiet? Maya, she was supposed to be in here training. Yet it appears she's nowhere to be seen. What's that? That's a strange lock. It wasn't there 2 days ago. This whole room was really giving off some strange vibes. Look at those wafer-thin mattresses. I'm sorry, Phoenix Wright. Wafer-thin? Yeah, you know, thin like a wafer. In other words, uncomfortable. That's how we describe things with these mattresses. I guess you must say wafer-thick or something back in Germany. Not about these mattresses, certainly not. It's an antique dresser. Don't you dare open it, Phoenix Wright. Why not? I know how Maya feels when telling her not to touch things. What a pity. There's about nothing but old clothes for the acolytes. I thought you weren't opening it. I'm from the prosecutor's office. I can do anything. Yeah, you can do anything, except stand up to a 9-year-old girl. Fucking burn. What do you think this yellowish poster is, Phoenix Wright? It's a scroll, not a poster. It's a picture of a woman who's actually... a woman? I don't see any woman here. There's a different atmosphere in this room since the last time I was here. No, it's not a different atmosphere, it's a different smell. It's gravy. What's the matter? This scroll, it's been completely covered in gravy. Ah, yes. There's a very appetizing smell in the air. But gravy is a type of sauce, so when you run out of paint, you Americans use gravy as a substitute, I see. No, no one does that. For starters, it stinks. This must be the gravy that we had with the roast on the night of the incident. Why would anyone do this? Why this scroll? Okay, it's updated. Touch the before and after view. Okay, let's do it again. Misty Faye, massacre and channeling technique, why not covered in gravy? Can't make out what's drawn on the scroll at all. I'll never understand you Americans and your so-called artists. Artists? Yeah. This door. When I was here 2 days ago, the weird lock wasn't on it. Those chains. It's almost as if they're guarding something inside that cavern. Never seen a lock quite like this before. I have. I've seen locks and chains just like this before. They look just like the ones that guard a person's secrets during a cycle. I wonder if this lock is guarding something too. Dark secrets in a dark cavern. What took you so long? I thought even you'd managed to get here faster than this. Mr. Trite. Goddamn Godot. Prosecutor Godot, I didn't know you were here. Prosecutor? How come you didn't show up at the trial today? Huh. I could ask you the exact same question. Huh? But I had a cold, so... That's something slightly more important than a common cold to deal with. The importance of which is something you have no hope of ever understanding. Enough. I believe I have the measure of you. You are the very worst kind of prosecutor. What could be more important than a trial? Who's the wild mare, Trite? This is Miss Von Karma. She was the acting prosecutor in your absence today. Huh. Well, I guess I owe you one then. Well, I'm willing to bet your one use Titanic clue that Godot is evil. He did something yesterday. Whether that something yesterday was good or bad, I'm not sure. But you can go now, princess. It's time for the big boys to take the reins. Just who do you think you are? This case is my... Hey, filly, know your role and shut your mouth. I can't stand women like you. God damn. I'm only going to say this once, Lady von Whippingberg. Go home. Phoenix Wright. What are you hitting me for? Huh. You deserve more cracks to the whip than that, Trite. What? You still don't get it, do you? You don't realize that you've set something in motion you'll never be able to undo. There's something different about Godot today. He has such a strong sense of something from behind that mask of his. Is it anger, or is it sorrow? You had some important business, and that's why you weren't in court, huh? So what was it? Asti, how are you doing? You missed Pearl's absolutely tearing Franziska von Karma apart. Told you once before, but perhaps you don't remember. I've returned from the depths of hell to do battle with you. You see, Trite, I've experienced something most have not. Death. You died? Yeah, of course, being extradited from hell is a tedious affair. The meticulous regeneration and adjustment of all your internal organs is, well, let's just say modern medicine allows us all to live to a ripe old age. Even someone like me. So you mean that mask you wear is this ugly device? I promise it's not a fashion statement, my unenlightened friend. That this, I can't see your frequently dumbfounded face. I didn't know. My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. Still, I keep this worn-out piece of junk of a body going with regular servicing. This is the alternate Marvel timeline where Wolverine, instead of becoming a lumberjack, he becomes a lawyer. I'm sorry, but you say you experienced death? How is that possible? What happened? Why don't you ask him? You see the court beatings he's been getting? Huh? No, you see what happened is written in red ink. Yeah, Trite, you. You should know all about it. You know when my life ended, and who ended it for me. Well, Phoenix Wright, do you? I don't know what he's talking about. Although, to be honest, I do feel a little tug at the corner of my memory. I think I do know about how Godot was killed. It'll all become clear in due time. Isn't that right, Trite? Honestly, Godot was one of my favourites alongside Iris too. Godot is good. I think the red shirt worked better though. Earlier you said I've done something I can never undo. What did you mean by that exactly? The inner temple here on this side of Dusky Bridge is an isolated island. That's what Sister Bikini said too. And I wonder, Trite, do you know what the police are doing here today? What do you mean? They're searching. Searching for any trace of an acolyte who went missing. Missing? As the leader of the search party, I can tell you this with absolute certainty. Maya Fey is not on this side of Dusky Bridge. Huh? But that's impossible. She came here that night and... I won't say it again. The chances of her being here are nil. Excluding, of course, one very unique place. One? Where's that? The Sacred Cavern, the entrance of which we are standing at right now. This is the only place that the search party has yet to explore. They haven't searched the cavern yet, huh? Be aware, though, that the temperature inside frequently falls below freezing. Even if she were in there, the chances of her being found alive are slim at best. No. Which means, Trite, that you send Maya Fey to her death. What? Wait, why can't we just get bolt cutters? You fool! If that's the situation, why aren't you in there with a search party right now? You must have blinders on, my equestrian angel. Don't you see the big lock and chains? It's a trick lock. I'm making preparations to open it as we speak. Well, Trite, once again, a woman dies because of you. Once again? What are you talking about? He's talking about Mia. Don't tell me you've forgotten. It was only 2 years ago, after all, and the last unfortunate woman died because of you. Because of me. And do you know who that was? It was Maya Fey's sister. That's right. Mia Fey. Mia? You killed her. No, that's not how it was. It was 2 years ago. Mia Fey was pursuing someone, a man. But she bit off more than she could chew. She made a very dangerous enemy. Yeah, that's one case I'll never forget. But I got that guy, personally. Sure, Miss Fey's murderer was caught. The fuck? That won't bring her back. Well, no, but... She's absolutely a horse girl, yeah. You were with her at the time, you and no one else. It was your responsibility, you should have protected her. You say Mia Fey was your teacher. Well then, I'd say you've learned nothing, Trite. You robbed her of her life, and now you've let her sister suffer the same fate. How do we do this? I haven't sentenced Maya to death, no. What is this peculiar-looking lock? Why don't we just break it open? It would be a simple matter of... I'm afraid we can't do that. This area has always been prone to earthquakes. The repeated tremors have weakened the foundations of the training hall. Any excessive force used to break the lock open would... Well, that's to say, the inner temple and the sacred cavern would be a thing of the past. Very well, then dare I suggest the obvious solution of opening it with the key? Ah. Sure, just show me where the keyhole is on this trick lock. There's no keyhole. That's right, interesting puzzle, huh? The person who set this lock is the only one who can open it. Then who was it? Simple, the accused. What? Iris? When an acolyte undergoes training inside the sacred cavern, the attending sister is responsible for locking the entrance. Obviously, the night of the murder was no exception. Maya Fey was to train in there. Mr. Bikini did mention a number of times now that I think about it. Ice Mage. So that Iris was left in charge of supervising the early stages of the training. So, Iris, the accused, is the only one who can open this lock. I've arranged for her to be brought here now. Iris is the only person to open this lock? I hope she gets here soon. Hang in there, Maya. So, I should be getting back to work. Wait, Godot. How sure about Maya are you? There's no doubt in my mind. She's in the sacred cavern somewhere. It's the only place she could be. You'd better start praying. You'd better pray that friend of yours brings the accused back here soon. Edgeworth? Listen up, Trite. There's only one thing I want to say to you before I go. I'll never accept you. Never. Do we care about that? You should choose your friends more carefully, Phoenix, right? That's what everyone says. Also, I don't have much of a choice. I just have to do what I can for now. Okay. Move back out. I don't know, should I or shouldn't I? Now let's pronounce that word the worst if possible. Vait na jukul and meditate in ice crevice for 100 days. Like someone's talking to himself, where's that coming from? Yeah, I guess I better wash that off, that's what I'll do. No, but I can't do that, I'm a detective. Arg, my brain, this is driving me nuts. Ah. Is something troubling you, Scruffy? Please don't whip me like that all of a sudden, sir. It was merely a simple greeting, a friendly tap on the shoulder, with my whip. So what's up, Gumshoe? Is something on your mind? How did you know, pal? Perhaps you were trying to decide if you wanted to wash that off or not? How did you know, sir? Oh, yeah, I nearly forgot. You can't go through that little gate there, okay? You mean the one that says no entry on it? I, kinda already snuck in there. Trying to be clever or something? So what's behind there, Scruffy? Huh? A kind of garden-like garden. A garden? Yeah, anyway, it's under investigation right now, so keep out. I'm not telling you, I'm asking you, pal. You got me. Isn't it only the other way around? Well, see you later. So, shall we adjourn to this garden, Phoenix, right? Of course, what else will we do? I already want to know what Gumshoe was thinking of washing off. Did he spill the gravy on the fucking tapestry? The scroll? Interesting. That looks like a deer scarer. That fills with water, and then it splashes down and creates a noise that scares away deer. There's a strange feeling in the air. I wonder what it is. I live like 40 minutes to an hour away from the place. Nice. You see Maya written upside down there? I didn't. Oh, it's behind there. We'll have to wait for Von Karma to move. Strange feeling. Forget about that. Why, yes, it is. What's that strange writing on the stone pattern? Ah! What are you doing here, sir? I thought I said you can't come in here. Don't you know, Scruffy? Von Karma will always show up wherever there is a clue. There are plenty of clues to be found here. But let's examine first. A little lantern, a little statue. It is certainly a quaint little garden. Oh. What is this huge bowl here for? Oh, I know this one. It's a water bowl, isn't it? Everything else is completely frozen over, but the ice in this bowl has been broken. That's true. I wonder if this has any impact on the case. So either it was warm or someone broke it to drink. Well, I doused my face earlier with the water in this. I was getting kind of sleepy. God damn it, Gumshoe. Yeah, next time you're sleepy, you need only come to me, got it? Yeah, I disturbed a crime scene because I was tired. There's a charm or something poking out from the snow. Looks pretty old. There's a leather cord tied to it too. Apparently it belonged to the victim. To Miss Elise Dunham? Yeah, there was a broken leather cord around the lady's neck. The ends of the cords found on both the victim and on this charm match exactly. Most competent cop. Sounds to me like this little trinket is going to be my ticket to getting some very big answers. Your own Master's Talisman added to the court record. Why is the Master's Talisman on her? Let me just open up the court record for a second. Okay, I can't examine it further. There are a couple of torches here. I guess you need all the light you can get up here in the mountains. Yeah, I was looking at those things, pal. Looks like they've been lit pretty recently. Makes sense if you wanted to keep warm up here. Recently? How recent are we talking about? As recent as the night of the murder. Maya was training here the night of the murder. Not unreasonable to think those things were lit up at the time, I guess. Maya's going to be like the best spirit channeler in the world because she's been in there so long. Well, this is odd. There's no snow on the ground here. It's an almost perfect rectangle. It couldn't have happened naturally. Yes, it appears as though someone has carefully cleared away the snow. But that it was you, wasn't it, Scruffy? Huh? No, it wasn't me, sir. It was already like that when my men and I got here to start the investigation. If it wasn't the police, then who did it? Oh yeah, there's something I need to tell you. Just between the three of us, okay? Well, what is it? It's top secret, you can't tell anyone, got it? Understood. Well, when I was a kid, I got knocked out of the local wrestling contest, you see. I was so disappointed, I just picked up my mouth guard and cried all the way home. Man, I got in so much trouble when I left it on the couch. Do I care, Gumshoe? Is that it? That's it, yeah. Whoever cleared the snow away must have had a reason, though I can't even begin to imagine what the reason could be. What the heck is that? Uh-oh, you spotted it, huh, pal? Gumshoe, look at me. Why the fuck did you tell me that? Are you kidding me? It couldn't be more obvious. It says Maya. Yeah, and before you ask, it's written in blood. You'll answer all our questions now, Scruffy. Without exception. Yes, sir. Karma whip him. Is there anything else here I am missing? Seems not. Let's talk to the man. So how's the Inner Temple investigation going? We have the best forensic team in the world working in the place. Forensic team? Well, what was the outcome of the scientific study? Nothing. Scientifically speaking, the place is as clean as a whistle. We're using Von Karma as a personal whipping lady. That's simply not good enough, Scruffy. Do you think I'll let you get away with that? Uh-oh. Well, there were a couple of things that bothered me when I first got here, sir. That stone lantern and the surrounding area that are not covered in snow, correct? They look kind of fishy to me, you know, scientifically speaking. You mean, subjectively. So I got the lab boys to look them over. The results were... It's kinda hard to say, actually. Guess I better look into them myself. About Maya. Oh, did Mr. Godot tell you yet? Yes, we heard. We got a search party out looking for her, but there's nowhere else she could have disappeared to on the side of Dusky Bridge. All we can do is wait for Mr. Edgeworth to get here, pal. Edgeworth? He's escorting Iris, the defendant, over here. We'll have to wait, since she is the only person who can open the door to the Sacred Cavern. Oh, I think Mr. Edgeworth wants to talk to you about something too, pal. Huh? I wonder what it is. Just don't be expecting any good news when you talk to him. When I spoke to him, Mr. Edgeworth sounded so down, I felt like I was drowning. Sounds pleasant. Maya, so these letters are written in blood? Yeah. What's worse is the victim's blood. Huh? This is Miss Dunham's blood? We haven't done a detailed analysis yet, but it's looking that way, pal. Most interesting. Phoenix Wright, I presume you know, don't you? Why Maya's name is written upside down. You know what? That was really bothering me too. I just came up with the answer, the result of my own special gumshoe investigation. Really? Do tell. Well, on the night of the murder, that stone lantern was upside down. Gumshoe? Can we have a talk? Anyway, there's really one logical explanation to this mystery. Miss Elise Donim wrote these letters herself, in her own blood. You must be joking, that's impossible. From the writing of the victim's blood and the other clues left behind, it seems pretty likely that this garden was the scene of Miss Elise Donim's murder. At least that's our current theory on how events took place, pal. What? It's a long distance. So Miss Dunham was killed here? However you want to look at it, that's what people are saying now. Then what Mr. Bikini saw in the courtyard of the main temple was... Well, what was it? If it wasn't the scene of the crime, what did you see? What do you think, Miss Von Karma? Surely a special gumshoe investigation would reveal the answer, no? But wait a sec, the bloody writing and all the other clues here. Someone could have easily set all that up after the murder, right? Sorry, but that's not an option, pal. Well, why not? How quickly you forget, Phoenix, right? Ever since the incident occurred, this place has been completely inaccessible. Because Dusky Bridge was completely burned out. Exclamation mark of surprise. I was overseeing repairs to the bridge the whole time. No one came over here before me and my men. Because no one could have planted all this stuff here, pal. I can't think of a counter-argument to that. I knew it. I should have washed the blood off the lantern as soon as I got here. That's evidence! You stupid piece of shit detective. She could have, but the reason was why. This really was the scene of the crime. I need to figure out exactly what it was that Bikini actually saw. Do I have any... Nothing must have been worn by the victim. There's no other way of looking at it. I mean, because of the matching leather cord around the victim's neck? Yeah, I bet it was one of those things she always wore. I've got this safe driving charm I've been wearing for over a year now. If I ever get into an accident, it guarantees it'll be the other guy's fault. Isn't it supposed to stop you from having an accident in the first place? This is found close to Dusky Bridge, wasn't it? That's what the artist guy said, yeah. After the defendant flew over the burning bridge. According to his testimony, she dropped it when she landed on the other side. But this crystal didn't belong to Iris. Because she has the answer, I doubt. Has the answer, I doubt she did the moidering. But she may have seen who did, and now she's sitting off in the cavern, possibly. LMAO, that's a very specific kind of charm. Yeah. The crystal had dropped out of Miss Elise Donim's staff. And there are traces of blood on it too. The real question is, what was it doing near the foot of Dusky Bridge? It was like a circus today in court. All thanks to this little sketch. At the risk of repeating myself, you really ought to choose your friends more carefully, Phoenix Wright. I call it Reflection of Blame Talisman. It's my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card. The Talisman of Reflected Blame. Okay, I know that was a bit out there, but he genuinely wants to help Iris. I'm sure of that. He wouldn't have produced this for no good reason. You were nothing more than a marshmallow on the inside. The both of you. Okay. Nope, wrong way. Move, suspension bridge, main gate. Oh, what's going on here? Seems you have a visitor. Mr. Wright. Iris, I'm really glad to see you. Gito managed to mobilize the police by claiming a state of emergency. How did he claim that? Not him again. Never mind him, we've got to hurry and lock the sacred cavern. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. It's my fault someone so important to you is locked in there. Mr. Edgeworth, can we finish our conversation later? Can you just claim a state of emergency like that? I suppose if a thing of this person in there could die if you don't get this person there, there would be an expedited process, but... Alright, let's hurry to their temple then. I'll see you later, right? Wait, Edgeworth, I'm coming with you guys. Sorry, Wright, I can't allow you to come with us. What? I hate to be the one to break it to you, but Maya Fey is in a rather delicate position. What do you mean by delicate position? It isn't simply a rescue operation, right? It's also an investigation. That being the case, we can't allow members of the public to interfere. Come on, Edgeworth. If anything happens, you'll be the first to know. Please understand, right? But it's Maya, Mr. Wright. All that matters is that Mystic Maya is rescued, correct? I listen to the voice of reason for a change, Phoenix Wright. From now on, consider anything beyond Dusky Bridge to be off limits. We'll be going now, excuse us. ... Ah, there's no time to be standing around, Phoenix Wright. Aren't there other things that demand your attention? She's right. Thanks for reminding me. Sister Bikini looks like she's shrunk some since I last saw her. Don't be so rude, Phoenix Wright. What's wrong, Sister Bikini? My, hello you two. How are you doing? Wahahaha. Ma. From the sound of that sigh, I guess she's still pretty down. Iris was just here, you know. She was accompanied by that handsome, crimson-clad prince. Those cheeks wobbling, yeah. Is she talking about Edgeworth? It was just a courtesy call. I wasn't allowed to talk with her at all. Oh dear, it's all my fault that this has happened. Poor Iris. She was worried about my back, would you believe? What have I done to her? Only what you had to do, sister. You bravely and truthfully testified about what you saw. There's some shame in that. And we'll see to it that your testimony wasn't made in vain. Well, I don't hear anyone else saying that. Mr. Bluesuits doesn't seem to share your opinion, I see. Huh? Me? Ah. Glare. Oh, yes. You did great, Sister Bikini. Absolutely spectacular. Sniffle. You two are the only ones who said that to me. I can't shake the feeling they just became a shill to a shrew. Do you have a problem, Phoenix Wright? Sure, she was brave to testify so truthfully like that. But now she's still hiding something. Guess I'm to break those cyclocks of hers. In a second. Let me just go to the courtyard to make sure nothing else is new there. Nope. Let's pop a cheeky save, shall we? You don't like Bikini? Why not? Elise Donem. Sister Bikini, the truth is becoming increasingly clear to me. Green smug as fuck, yeah. Shoved the Magatama up her cheeks. I'm convinced that Miss Elise Donem had a special significance to this temple. As to why she had a special significance, I believe it has something to do with her true identity. What on earth are you talking about? She was... Mystic Elise was an author, just an author, of picture books. To be honest, I had my suspicions almost immediately after I met her. I'm pretty sure that one of those cheeks will completely consume the Magatama. Suspicions? Yes, didn't have any evidence to support my theory, though. But now I do. This piece of evidence proves Miss O'Nim's true identity. Miss O'Nim had this charm with her at all times. Ah, where did you... It isn't some cheap good luck charm either. Then... What do you think it is, Mr. Wright? What could a talisman like that possibly mean? It's a talisman. It's interesting. Oops. This thing speaks volumes about who Miss O'Nim really was. This talisman and one other item unequivocally prove Miss O'Nim's true identity. Okay, it wasn't the staff. Another item. What other item? No? Okay, well how about I do a... How about I do a cheeky little, a cheeky little load. None of that bad stuff ever happened. You wanna get some Nando's? Oh, I really want some Nando's right now. I really do. Tomorrow's therapy day, so tomorrow's also my cheat day. Okay, we already know that. Present. Miss having Nando's? Nando's is great. I've gotten so used to the regular hot sauce that now my standard is the very hot sauce. Try authentic Portuguese spicy roast chicken. I really want to try it out. And one other item. Where is the picture? Is it the picture? I did try Brazilian. It's not that. What other item is it? This and one other item. Do I have that item? Their fingerprints. Okay, so the talisman, one other item. One other item. I tried the sphere, it wasn't the sphere. It's not the sketch. There's nothing odd in the crime photo. It belongs to the master. Vico, how are you? But are you saying so it's this? The painting is obscured. Interesting. I wouldn't have linked those two. How are you doing, Vico? The painting is obscured by this gravy stain at the moment. But this scroll shows the master of Curain channeling technique. The crest at the top is a sign of that honorable title. The very same crest that adorns the talisman the victim carried with her. Is that Misty Fae? Ah. This crest is reserved for the master of Curain. Who on earth told you that nonsense? I've got no idea what you're talking about. Got Starfinder ready for tomorrow? Nice. I'm still researching through the Star Trek online system. The new master Maya Fae told me. What? What? You mean that acolyte is Misty Fae's daughter? Yes. Are you sure? Yes, in fact, since her eldest daughter passed away, Maya is Misty Fae's sole successor. Mystic Misty. Oh, okay, that was relatively easy. Sorry, not Star Trek Online, Star Trek Adventures, the tabletop RPG. Mystic at least graced us with her presence about a week ago. When she showed me the talisman with that mark on it, well, I nearly fainted. Probably much better, very alien, very magic, yes. No one had seen her since she disappeared 17 years ago after all. What is the significance of this talisman, sister? The Curain talisman is the symbol of the master of Curain. The bearer must carry it with them always until their death. Until their death? So Elise Donim was really Maya's mother, huh? She was Misty Faye, the master of the Curane channeling technique. I have it all digitally, because... reasons. The truth comes out at last. Looks like we're making some headway here. Tell me, sister. After 17 years, why did she choose to show herself now? Because something happened that called her out of hiding. Books are for nerds. What happened? Well... aren't we all nerds here? What's happening? It can't be. Earthquake! Ah! Oh my goodness, the inner temple. Which kind of tremor might... The inner temple? The sacred cavern in the training hall. It might very well cave in. What? Maya! Phoenix runs, falls in again. Yeah. Edgeworth no like earthquakes. It seems to have passed. Well, we can't just stand here and do nothing, let's go. What? Where? To the inner temple, of course, where else? Sister Bikini, we'll finish this later, alright? Book is really cool, but haven't the time to read it yet. It's not a priority since my friend group isn't big on Star Trek Online. I do want to start a Star Trek Online Adventures game at some point, just have the odd session, because it is really episodic. People may have been hurt. I must get some first aid kits ready. Come on then, Phoenix Wright. They won't bar you from entering as long as I'm with you. Thank you. Right at that moment, I had the worst feeling in my gut. We just had an earthquake. I wonder if he's alright. Cool, Vico. You look worried. Are you thinking about Miles Edgeworth? Come on, let's go. We've got to hurry to the inner temple and... Right. Ah, what are you doing here? Oh. How could I have... How do you expect us to understand if you don't speak up? Yow. Hey, why am I the one getting whipped? She's gone. No. The defendant, Iris. She's gone. Gone where? She fled. She escaped. What? So, it was just now, during the... It's easy to see Edgeworth's one and only weakness. His fear of earthquakes. I should have known better than to escort the defendant alone. As soon as the ground started shaking, everything went dark before my eyes, and I stupidly passed out. Everyone passes out so often in these games. That incident haunts you to this day, doesn't it? That's no excuse for letting the suspect get away. I can't believe I let it happen. Right, the inner temple area is dead end, so she could have only escaped to this side. We haven't seen her. We need to get a manhunt underway now and search Eagle Mountain from top to bottom. Wait, Edgeworth. Have you thoroughly checked the inner temple yet? Don't be ridiculous, why would I? The inner temple is like an island. There's no way to escape but to cross. No, that's not it. Iris isn't the type of person to run away, Edgeworth. Busy after an evening, what's going on? What have you learned? Scrollock, how are you? We learned that Elise Donim was actually Misty Faye. What are you talking about? Sister Bikini mentioned something when we were with her. She said that the sacred cavern might have caved in because of the quake. You think Iris might have gone to the inner temple to check on the situation? Listen, Edgeworth, I'm sure she's at the inner temple. A manhunt is not necessary. Right. Let's not waste any more time. We need to get to the training hall sacred cavern now. Alright, let's go. Yep. Fortunately, the sacred cavern hadn't caved in. But what we found was something none of us could have ever expected. Interesting. How can there be even more locks? What is the meaning of this? Iris. Iris, please tell me, what the hell is going on? Yep, I knew it was going to be to be continued. As it got a lurk and joy. Thank you for the lurk, Scrollock. I hope you have an okay evening, day, whatever it is for you. Right, is this what Godot was talking about? Yeah, the trick locks. Now then, Iris, please remove these at once. Mr. Edgeworth, I'm afraid I can't. It's not possible for me. What? During the earthquake, when the cavern was in danger of caving in, Iris escaped. Note that there was only one lock when I last came here. You're saying that you can't undo these new locks? Yes. If only I was stronger. Edgeworth, how are you feeling? You look a little pale in the face. Like you're one to talk with your face all green. Miles Edgeworth, go and get some air. I'll watch over the suspect. You go and get a grip on yourself. Don't be ridiculous. I'm perfectly fine. There's no telling what sort of mistakes you can make in your current state. Go and get some rest. That's your only concern now, Miles Edgeworth. Is she literally becoming Dommy Mommy with a whip? I'll handle the investigation in the garden. You take care of things here. Asti. Edgeworth. He's got so much pride that he's probably off crying in a corner of the garden. Pride is simply another trap that hinders us in our lives. Culmination of a lot of things, yeah. That said, one must have pride to be effective on the job. At any rate, it seems that this is where we part ways, Phoenix, right? I'm going to stay here and see if I can't help solve these bothersome puzzles. I see. Well, thanks for your help. You know, Tech knows me from work. He knows me as a developer and all that. Here, you see me use my shit at Dommy Franziska. To be fair, Asti, with the VODs being uploaded to YouTube, there are many, many instances of you losing your shit to various characters. That is publicly on view for anyone to go and see. And do you mind if I ask you a few things, Iris? No, not at all. Okay, that's the same. Let's be the same. People don't know Asti and Spag are the same. Well, now you just said it. There's a door. Still guarding something inside the cavern. Mr. Delight, Franziska, all the Twinks and Warriors, Hiroshi. Why did you make a run for it, Iris? I'm sorry. I heard the inner temple had been severely shaken by the strong earthquake we had. I was so worried I just had to come and see. In other words, you didn't run away to escape the law, at least we're clear on that. I can't tell you how relieved I was when I saw the sacred cavern was alright, but... But what? When I saw these chains here. I saw all these extra locks that someone had put on the sacred cavern's door, and... Who in the world would do something like this? These trick locks are a sacred treasure of the Curain tradition. There are hundreds of ways to set them. That's why only the person who set the lock can open it. Tally's still my favourite, but honestly Ashley's my number 2. For me, it goes Tally. Then my number 2 is Kazumi. And you aren't the one to set these locks? I don't think it's that simple, Franziska von Karma. When we were here the first time, there's only one lock. But now, somehow, there's 5 of them. What does that mean? It means that someone wanted to secure the place even more. And they wanted to secure it before you got here, Iris. Presumably because they wanted to make sure Maya couldn't get out. This means that Iris can only open one of these locks, the first one. Yes, that's correct. What? Iris, try to think, please. Is there any way around this? The Garrus 9 more times, huh? Well, like I said, there are hundreds of different ways to set these locks. Suppose if I went through every combination with each one, I could remove them, but... It'll take time, won't it? Yes, about a day, if I had to guess. A whole day? That's actually pretty fast, comparatively speaking. That's better than leaving the locks in place. Will you do this for us? Sure, I'll do whatever I can. Gotta wait another day? Hang in there, Maya. You're going to have to call on your inner strength now. You know what, Iris? There's still one thing I don't quite get. And what might that be, Phoenix, right? I think it's obvious. Iris, night of the murder, where were you? Please, Iris, don't give me that look. You told us that you were in your room at Hazakura Temple at the time of the incident, but you were seen that same evening at the inner temple. And then you were spotted at the scene of the crime in Hazakura Temple, too. Wasn't she? She is still the defendant. She's being watched over by. It was Edgeworth, now Franziska. To make sure she doesn't run away, because she was brought in to try and save Maya. Because apparently she was the only one that could open up the first lock, so she was called from the detention center to open it, try and get Maya out. Now 5 more are there. Well, Iris, I think it's about time you told us the truth. Of course. I knew it. There's something going on here that I don't know about. Okay, let's... Here's a look at this. Yeah, the locks are far more important at this moment, wouldn't you agree? She's right, I'm gonna have to hold on off things for now. Okay. Can I break these locks? The night of the crime. I think it's time you told the truth about what you were doing on that night. You said you were in your room at Hazakura Temple the entire time. Do you still claim that to be the truth? Yes, that's where I was. Iris, I believe you're innocent. That's why I want to believe what you're telling me too. But I can't. Because this person saw you somewhere else on the night of the murder. I sent Asti a thing that he enjoyed. That's good. I'm talking about Sister Bikini, of course. Sister Bikini. Her testimony in court today was very clear. That night I was helping an acolyte with her training in the inner temple, but... Well, as you can see, my back likes to act up violently, so I left Iris to help the acolyte and returned to Hazakura Temple. Sister Bikini didn't just see you, she spoke with you. You two talked about Maya's training that night. So you see, Iris, you were there at the inner temple on the night of the murder. That's very impressive, Mr. Wright. It's exceedingly basic. Awooga, okay. The acolyte's actual training was due to start after 10 o'clock that night. I left the main hall early, so I wouldn't be late. What time was that? Let me see. It's about 20 minutes to walk between the main hall and the inner temple. Would have left at about 9:40 PM, I think. I'm sorry, Iris, but lying doesn't suit you. Huh? Now, you say you left the main hall at 9:40. Doesn't add up with this. It was this, wasn't it? I think. Yeah, it is this. You yourself testified to the contrary, don't you remember? You said you rang the lights out bell at 10 o'clock that night. Plus, only moments before you rang that bell, you were seen in the main hall by the most reliable witness I have. Who's that? Me. Mr. Wright. You even spoke a little that evening. That's when you gave me this. Surely you haven't forgotten. No, that's right. I remember. That brings us to another puzzling fact, Iris. This lady isn't Iris. At 10 o'clock on the night of the murder, you were seen at 2 different places at the same time. It's time you told me exactly what's been going on, Iris. This lady isn't Iris. I also believe there were 2 Irises. So far, I've managed to prove... I wonder... One second. That's her outfit there. I don't have the... I want to see her outfit of her pulling the sword from Mist O'Nim. Because I wonder if that's Pearl. If Pearl was possessed, or Maya was possessed. Because, you know, when someone gets possessed, they take on the look of someone. So if Dahlia possessed one of them... Actually, it couldn't have been Maya, because Maya was locked in. So it must have been Pearl. What if Pearl was possessed by Dahlia? If Dahlia is dead. Wright did say she was in prison. So far, I've managed to prove 2 things. First, on the night of the incident, you were at the inner temple. And second, at the exact same time, you were ringing the bell at Hazakura Temple. Only one possible explanation for this apparent impossibility. There were 2 of you. On the night of the incident, you were seen in 2 different places at the same time, which means there must have been 2 of you. I can't think of any other explanation, Iris. But that's crazy. How could that be? There's only 1 of me. It's impossible. Impossible, I wonder. The way you're trembling certainly seems to suggest otherwise. Gulp. You're seriously trying to suggest there's more than 1 of me? Then show me the evidence. Show me something that proves there's more than 1 of me. Evidence there was more than 1. Is the sketch? No. It's not. Oh, someone who looked like her. Okay. Profiles. Someone that looks like... Oh, fuck, I didn't press that. Shit. I didn't mean to right-click. Maybe. Why do we have to go back all the way to the start? I don't have it yet. Oh, okay. I will trust you. I'm still coming to place, like pretty nervous. I know I don't have Dahlia. I thought I may have something else. Gotta be a tough job. Hey, Edgeworth. Especially with someone giving you the evil eye the whole time. Mutter, mutter. How could I have done that? Wow, I can't believe it's still bothering him. Edgeworth? Ah. Hey, don't you dare run away. What do you want, Wright? What do I want? If you came here to laugh at me, then get on with it. Go on, laugh away. I was ready to hug it out with him, but he's just the same prideful Edgeworth. You went back to the Criminal Affairs Department, right? Did you want to look into something concerning Iris? Yes. And thanks to what I found, I was reminded of something terrible. You guys are putting a lot of effort into the investigation of the garden here, huh? Did you hear, by the way? Just want to drop and say hello. Thanks for coming by, Vicodin. I hope you sleep well. Brian, how are you doing? There's a high chance that this is actually the scene of the crime, that's why. I mean, because of the writing in blood and the talisman in the snow? Exactly. As you know, those things could have been planted here after the murder. But surely you don't suspect Maya, do you? You have to treat everyone as a suspect, Maya as well as Iris. It's our job, right? Sleep well, Vico. So I guess you still haven't gotten over your fear of earthquakes. No, though thankfully my nightmares have stopped. But still, if the ground gives even the slightest tremor, I find myself short of breath. 17 years ago, when we were still school kids, the same elementary school. No, it's the same case. Edgeworth found himself in the middle of a murder. It all started with that big quake that hit the courthouse. Yes, I was stuck in the elevator with my father, who was a defense attorney. We were deprived of oxygen and we passed out. That's when it happened. That single gunshot shattered my whole life. I lost everything that day, all because of that earthquake. My dreams, my family, and myself. It's been more than 17 years now. My case was finally resolved 2 years ago, right? You think I don't know that? I was there, but it was such a shock. I never imagined I could be so wrong about myself and my life. I'm sorry, right? There's nothing else I can say. Not after you chose to become a lawyer for my sake. Not after you saved me. Edgeworth, you're stronger than you think, so no more of this self-pity, okay? There was something that bothered me about her from the moment we met. I felt like I'd seen her somewhere before. Edgeworth's dad was a defense attorney. Edgeworth fell so far becoming a prosecutor. So that was the thing about the first case, is that Edgeworth's dad was killed, and the supposed murderer, Yanni Yogi, the security officer in the lift, was thought to have been the person that shot him, but he was proven innocent by a kind of sketchy defense attorney. So Edgeworth swore off being a defense attorney and became a prosecutor under the mentorship of Manfred von Karma. Not somewhere. I felt like I'd seen her in court before. So you went back to the Criminal Affairs Department to look for her file? Yes, I checked over every case file I've ever worked on, and I was right. I'd seen her face before 6 years ago. Was been a good defense attorney. He told Yen Yogi to pretend he had brain damage, so he would get off the charge on what's it called, a reduced capacity or something. 6 years ago, it was my first appearance in court, and as cases go, it was my worst nightmare. So who is she? I'm sorry, Wright. I can't get that information away to a member of the general public. What? Why not? Might be the crucial piece of the puzzle that solves this case. The woman I knew was the daughter of a jewelry store owner. She had nothing to do with Iris and Hazakura Temple, and neither did the case. No, that woman is completely unrelated to this murder. Yeah, sure fucking is. Unrelated? Yes, I can say that with complete confidence. You're wrong, Edgeworth. She's totally related to this case. Need to fill Edgeworth in. Need to explain the connection between Iris and the woman Edgeworth knew. I need evidence for that, though, I think. One second. Let me... if I present... one of the biggest names in the world of laws, I'm sure you'll agree. For better or for worse, we were only destined to meet once in the courtroom. I know, I read all about it. It was the first time for the both of us, two novices head-to-head. Giggity. I can still remember how downhearted I felt after that trial ended the way it did. I wonder if Mia felt the same way too. Okay. I'm finally getting to the bottom of this case. I can count on Iris to break those locks, so I should try gather more clues. From Visitor Bikini, Edgeworth, Gumshoe, and Pearls. Is Pearls here? Negative. It's weird that there's no one around all of a sudden. Sure gets quiet up here in the mountains when you're all on your own. Speaking of alone, I guess I should go check on the shack just down this path. Maybe we'll find Larry there skulking again. Oh, Mr. Nick. Pearls, what are you doing here? Nothing. What about Mystic Maya? Is she alright? You need someone to moderate the moderator. I volunteer. There, now you have responsibility. Well, we don't know yet. Oh, I see. Hey, what do you think you're doing here, Nick? Larry? This is the loser's shack, where losers get together to lose themselves. This is the what? Hey, we find comfort in each other's failures, okay? You got a problem with that? Look, Mr. Nick, Mr. Laurie did a picture of me. That's some great pearls. We're going to gather firewood now. We'll be cooking some half-rotten potatoes over a miserable little campfire. So stay out of our way. I don't believe this. Why can't he try getting fired up over becoming a better man? No one believes a word I say anymore. Oh. God, the whole thing rotates. Toxie, how are you doing? This is me, Pearl. You don't want to trust this kind of guy, okay? He'll only let you down. Oh, Mystic Maya. No worries. It only believes a word you say. You're saying you're a loser is thus not believed, so not a loser. Aha, science. Larissa's sketch. Larry, is there something you want to tell me about this picture? Heh, I've got nothing to say to you, Nick. My life's here now, with Pearl, two losers cooking potatoes. Stop calling her a loser, she's a small child. What am I gonna do with him? Alright then. What do you think about this picture, Pearls? I think it's really well drawn. I can't draw at all, so I think it's really amazing. See? Someone appreciates it. It's tough getting the flames to look like that, you know? It's supposed to be Sister Iris flying through the air, isn't it? Go to the blam. Shoot Larry, yes. Can we get some blams in chat for Larry, please? Just to make sure he's nice and thoroughly shot. It's supposed to be yeah. Major blamage here. I love it. It's like a dream, a wonderful fantasy. No, it wasn't a dream. She really flew, I'm telling you. Iris really flew that night. But, Mr. Maurice... Sigh. Not you too. Please don't look at me like that, Pearl. Be rather regiment. Yeah, we have what? 1, 2, 3... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 6. That's one section. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Second section. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Third section. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fourth section plus 2. I guess this picture really is a representation of what Larry thinks he saw. Okay, so I was half asleep when I was here that night. But I was wide awake after the lightning struck. And I saw what I saw. It was exactly like it drew in the picture. Looks like I don't have any choice but to take this sketch at face value. Hey, what's the look of doubt in your face? Pearls? Yes, Mr. Nick? I mean to ask you about the night of the murder. Where were you? What exactly were you doing when it all happened? I was just, well, I'm just a kid, you know? I'm sure it doesn't really matter what I was doing, does it, Mr. Nick? Sorry, Pearls, but yes, it does. On the night of the murder, you were supposed to be in Miss Dunham's room reading the book together. But Miss Dunham was murdered, and you, Pearls, were at the inner temple. Yeah, so why don't you just tell us what happened, eh? Just what exactly happened that night, Pearls? I'm really sorry, Mr. Nick. Oh god, what happened? What did you do? I've been a bad girl. That's why I'm being punished. What are you talking about? If she put the locks in the cavern, maybe. Maybe, but she was over this side when the earthquake happened, wasn't she? My spiritual power. It has disappeared. What? Her power has disappeared? What do you mean your power has disappeared, Pearls? It's all over for me. A spirit medium who can't channel spirits is like a painter who can't paint. Hey, what are you looking at me for? Pearls, did you try to channel someone's spirit right here at Hazardcore Temple? Tried, but failed, perhaps? Ah. Wow. Way to go, Nick. You made her cry. That was really cruel of you. Wow. Oh, I guess he's going on an orc wah. Just as I thought. My favorite part of the Ace Attorney anime is that when they point their fingers at objective, great gusts of wind. I think I posted to people privately before the Ace Attorney class for Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, there's a Phoenix Wright anime. It goes through all the first 3 games. I modded him because he asked it, but now that you mention it, I'm going to unmod him. There we go. As I thought, I'm going to have to break her psych locks to get the truth out of her. Okay. Let's move back to the main temple. I think Asti banned me. No, I just unmodded you. Professor Bikini's back in the main hall yet. Haven't seen Gumshoe around for a while either. Maybe they're having a cup of tea somewhere. Together somewhere. That Gumshoe was Mr. Bikini's type. Oh, there she is. I suppose if you enjoyed the Ace Attorney story but didn't want to play the game. Well, what's the damage? How's the Sacred Cavern? It looks like it survived. We have a bigger problem now. I told Mr. Bikini all about it. About the 5 locks that were stopping us from getting inside the Sacred Cavern. We'll see the Japanese names is a bit of an adjustment. Okay. What do you mean Japanese names? They don't call him Phoenix? Those ones cursed with the eldritch vision of Ahmad, never again. Phoenix Wright becomes Naruto Ryuichi. Really? 1 second, I have Crunchyroll. I'm gonna double check this, because I thought they say Phoenix. Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll. Login. Login. English. Okay. Browse. Now I want to search. Phoenix. There we go. Ace Attorney. I want to mute. Yeah, they call him an English. They watch an actual chat. Okay, then it's not a. Okay, I thought you were saying that they used the other names in the English. But who could have done that? The only people who know how to set those trick locks are those of the Curain tradition. We have Iris of the Sacred Cavern trying her best to open them for us right now. Actually, there's something I've been meaning to talk with you about, Sister Bikini. Ah yes, we're in the middle of a chat, weren't we? Yes, you were telling me how the Master of Curain disappeared 17 years ago. Ah, so he speaks dragon, gotcha. Want to know why Misty Fae suddenly appeared at this temple. It was about a week ago when Mystic Misty arrived. After she showed me the talisman that proved she was the Master, she said, someone is trying to destroy the Curain tradition's main family line. Fucking Morgan. I'm here to put a stop to them. Someone was trying to destroy the main family line? There's only one heir to the title of Master at any time, and it's usually the eldest. That child becomes the new Master of Curain, and her daughters, the main family, all other mediums become branch family members with no hope of controlling the clan. That's like nothing has changed with the history of the clan. Branch families always have and always will plot to erase those in the main family line. Exclamation mark. The power of the Master... Is the power of the Master worth this much bloodshed? You believe in the technique, don't you, Mr. Wright? You know its power is real. Yes, I do. It's been 2 years since I first met Maya. In that time, I've seen her channel the spirits of the dead plenty of times. During the mask case, and during Maggie Bird's trial, too. I think it was called Mr. Rugitora. Thanks to Maya, Mia's always on hand to help me out when I need her the most. The Curain technique has made a huge difference to the world, you know. The main ability to commune with the dead. That's true psychic power, you know. Members of the tradition have always been there, behind every important leader. Who wouldn't respect such a tremendous skill? I suppose so, but with all that power and influence, I kind of expected you to be really rich by now. You're saying we're poor, Mr. Wright? Ho ho ho, you're very direct, aren't you? People don't believe in it anymore, you see. All because of one little mistake. The DL6 incident. It was 17 years ago, and that's when everything came crashing down. All because of that incident. Patented California spirit channeling. What do you think she is? But the records still exist if you're interested. Locked up, of course. It was called the DL6 incident. That's the name of the file. The DL6 incident, I knew it. The DL6 incident. I know it well. I handled a related case just 2 years ago. Ah, that's right. So it was you who was the defense attorney on that case. A murder that took place 17 years ago. For the first time in the country's history, the police ever used a spirit medium. The idea was to channel the victim's spirit to learn the identity of the murderer. And the medium who performed the channeling was Misty Fae, Maya's mother. Through Misty's channeling, the name of a certain man surfaced. Armed with that as evidence, the investigators were spurred into action. But that man, he was found not guilty, wasn't he? And that's right, he was. And the case remained a mystery. In other words, we failed. It was the first case the world had ever seen the Curain tradition openly involved in. It was all over the media, the public, the judiciary, the people of Curain village. Everyone judged her, everyone said Misty's powers were a sham. And then she just disappeared, vanished, when everyone still thought of her as a fraud. Well, I know the truth. Mystic Fae's spirit channeling wasn't a sham at all. Of course I wasn't. Since you managed to reveal the truth, we're finally making a comeback. The Curain tradition is starting to recover at last, with a new master wielding the power of the clan. Did she mean Maya? Remember, in the whole sort of Japan thing, image and honor and your reputation, it weighs a lot more. The spiritual power of the Curain channeling technique is in the blood. Maya's told me the exact same thing before. We, the women of the Fae clan, have always been spirit mediums. It's because the power to communicate with spirits flows strongly through us. According to Maya, only the women in the family can inherit that power. The main family's bloodline stems directly from Mystic Amy. Come on, Windows, what are you doing? But with each new generation, only one daughter becomes a new master. And the ones who don't become branch families, right? And that's right. That's always the cause of tragedy. You know, Maya had a sister too, an older sister named Mia. Oh yes, I've heard of her. What? You know about Mia? Of course. She became a lawyer in the hopes of discovering what happened to her mother. Not a fan of that. Yeah. Lost her life as a result. You know what Mystic Mia is rumored to have said? She said it wasn't only because of her mother that she became a lawyer. She also didn't want to fight with her sister over the leadership of the tradition. Really? Well, she saw what happened to her own mother, Mystic Misty, as she grew up. As Mystic Mia got tired of seeing all the rivalry between her mom and her aunt. That's right, Misty Faye had an elder sister too, and Misty, having superior powers, managed to usurp the Master's seat. Mystic Misty's sister is Mystic Morgan, as you probably know. Yes, I sent her to jail for, conspiracy to murder. Morgan, there's a name I know well. It was a year ago now, at Maya's home Curain village. What she did was terrible. It was all so she could make her own daughter the next master. I suppose if you know about Mystic Morgan's daughter, you must have already realized that Iris... Huh? Iris? What's Iris got to do with any of this? That Iris is Mystic Morgan's daughter. Oh, fuck! I did not know that. Iris is a what? Is she kidding me? Iris is Morgan Faye's daughter? Did you say that Iris is Morgan Faye's daughter? Oops, I thought you already knew. Sounded like you'd met one of Mystic Morgan's daughters already. It's not like that's why Japanese like to argue, disagree with things. Across Chris Broad's YouTube channel or Anime Man, they discuss it at times a tad bit of concern. People force themselves off to stick out at their own detriment. Yeah, I have. I know her very well. Oh? Yes, Pearls. Pearl Faye. I always thought she was an only child. You jest. That child? She's Mystic Morgan's? I had no idea. Mystic Morgan. But she's in prison now, isn't she? Yes, ever since she was found to be a co-conspirator in a murder case last year. It was all done to set Pearls up as the next master. I see. So I've been wrong all this time. Mystic Morgan had 3 daughters, not 2. If I go there and be confrontational, no one will be able to stop me. Okay, so here's something I heard, that there is this type of Japanese restaurant, cafe, eatery, whatever you want to call it, that they only let regulars in, but for new people have to be brought in by a regular. Now, on this new person's first time eating there, they don't pay the bill that night. However, the bill is sent to them later on the expectation to pay. And if you don't pay, the person who introduced you has to pay. The idea being that you're pressured reputationally to pay, or else you and your friend lose their good name with this restaurant. And I don't think they're allowed in, and you're not allowed in. Like, reputation is a huge thing. Wait, what? 3? Yes, Iris, her twin sister, and Mystic Pearl. What? Twin sister? Oh, didn't you know? It all happened 20 years ago. After the clan leadership was taken from her by her sister, Mr. Morgan's life crumbled. It's paying with extra steps, though. What it's doing is, the idea is that you enjoy the night, you appear, you order, you eat, you go home. And you enjoy your first time there, not having to worry about the bill at that time. And then you pay later. It wasn't many years later that Curane's reputation hit an all-time low. When Mr. Morgan's husband realized his wife would never become the master, he left her in the village, taking her twin daughters with him. How awful. He was a jeweler, you know. In the end, he remarried, and that's when it happened. He decided to give one of his girls up to be looked after by us here at the temple. That was Iris, you see. It's unbelievable. If Iris is a twin sister... Could it be... could you tell me one more thing, Sister Bikini? What was the name of Iris's sister? I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I just can't remember. All I can recall is that her father was a jeweler. Well, that's a clue, I guess. A jeweler. Thank you very much. You've helped clear up a lot of details. Pearls had 2 older sisters, huh? Yes, that's right. No doubt it was all because of Mr. Morgan's anger towards the main family. Anger? What do you mean? Her twin daughters were taken from her by her jeweler husband. Even that couldn't destroy her dream that a child of hers would one day lead the clan. That's why she had pearls, but who was the father? It seems that the incident here was a result of Mr. Morgan's anger. I was able to break free of the bars... It was able to break free of the bars that confine her. Iris has a twin sister. The plot thickens. This information will be useless unless I can flesh it out a bit. Need to ask more questions, get some more info. Let's actually go to the courtyard. Let's make sure we're not missing something in the courtyard. Oh, something's in the courtyard. Sounds like someone's happy. What tune is it that are humming? No motive, no crime, no motive, no crime. Sing it with me, no motive, no crime. I remember when we used to search in the channeling room in Curane. Oh, I love my job. Who cares if the clues I find are no good? That's not what investigating is all about. The investigator investigates, love investigating, it's a passion. You okay there, Gumshoe? You need a minute? Good cases we have, good cases we've lost, all along the way. Never guessed that Gumshoe was into reggae. Every case is going to be airtight, every case is going to be airtight. Oh, every case is gonna be airtight. Hey, pal. Huh? Who? Me? How long have you been there? I just got here. Oh, okay. So what are you up to, detective? I'm investigating, pal. I made a promise to Mr. Edgeworth. I promised I would find the real murder weapon. The real murder weapon? That barbed sword thing turned out to be a false lead, right? I'm giving my best shot here, but I still haven't turned up any clues. I just found these weird scraps of paper, and it looks like a letter or something. Doesn't seem to have anything to do with the case, though. A letter? So how's the investigation going, Detective Gumshoe? I don't know what you were telling me, pal, but I guess it can't hurt. Looks like the murder took place in the inner temple garden. And they're taking that bloody writing and lantern pretty seriously back in HQ. What? You mean? I don't have the details, pal. All I know is, if you don't find Maya down in that sacred cavern, you're going to be faced with one ugly situation. What kind of ugly situation are we looking at here? You got me. I don't know. They're not my words, pal. Then who said it? Mr. Godot. Godot? What do they mean by that? By the letter you found. Don't remind me, pal, I'm busting a gut here trying to find the murder weapon. All I find is some... burnt up old letter. Burnt up old letter? Yeah, it was in that incinerator right outside the inner temple. The incinerator? I knew it. I knew I wasn't imagining it. There was snow in the incinerator when I first saw it. But after the incident, the snow had melted away, which means someone used the incinerator on the night of the murder. What's up with you, pal? I've got it right here for you. Want to take a look? Can I... Do you mind? Sure, go nuts. I don't want it, pal. You can have it. It's all spirit mediums and masters and stuff. I bet it's got no relation to the case. Spirit mediums? Yeah, Gumshoe is a fantastic detective. It's got to be important if it mentions spirit mediums and masters. I'd better give it a good looking over and some serious thought. Make sure you chuck it in the trash when you're done. Littering is a crime, pal. So what do you know about the real murder weapon so far? Well, it wasn't the Shichishito that was found impaled on the victim's body. Mr. Edworth proved that in court today. Yes, that's true. In which case, it must be another blade. That's what you're running around like a headless chicken looking for now, huh? Yeah, and man, it's a tiring work. But let me tell you something, pal. I'm no chicken. They've got the feather of forensics in our cap these days. They're using the department's secret weapon on this. Secret weapon? What's the secret weapon of yours? You want to know? You've got to think scientifically, okay? Alright. The murder weapon was a sword. Swords are, scientifically speaking, made of metal, right? Not necessarily. You've already fucked up. Any questions so far? No. I know what he's going to say, but I'll let him look smart. So what's the perfect tool for the job? Ta-da! A metal detector! Raise your hand if you didn't see this coming from a mile away. Well, you want to give scientific investigation a go? Huh? Me? I've been using this thing for hours now. It gets pretty boring after a while. Why don't you give it a try? I don't know. Should I help Detective Gumshoe out or not? Play forensics expert. Come on, pal. It's good fun, I'm telling you. Alright then. I guess I'll give it a go. Like I said, this is the department's most advanced gadget. The absolute best. It's so sensitive. You can make it cry. It's so high-tech, you could skydive off it. Oh, bother. So now I'm going to tell you how to use it. It's possible the real murder weapon is around here somewhere, right? Sure, that's what we're trying to find out. Right, so first, let's turn the detector on. That's the sound of the metal detector's signal bouncing off of something metallic. Next, move the detector around and give this courtyard a good look-see, pal. Don't worry, this baby will let you know when you've hit something metallic. And when that happens, press enter to give the area a good hard stare. This thing picks up metallic objects that are hidden from sight, too. Take a good look at anything and everything that seems suspicious, okay, pal? Just a pair of skis. Nothing useful for our case here. I'm actually pretty good on the skis, you know, pal? I just love to fly down the slopes with my coat fluttering in the wind. Let me do your job for you, Gumshoe. It's okay. This entire series has been, okay, Mr. Wright. So the prosecution and the police are all utterly incompetent. We will leave it up to you to figure everything out. Well, I'm better on skis than I am on skates, but not as good as when I'm on a snowboard. That's a pretty detailed answer. Oh, but you know what I'm best at? Making mashed potatoes and gravy. The guy's losing it. Must be the altitude. We better get back to the investigation. This looks like a wallet. Aha! That's where it's been. Is it yours, detective? I'm always dropping it, so put a bell on it. But you still dropped it anyway. Yeah, but I found it again, pal. Fuck's sake, Gumshoe. Back to this. Your wallet is completely empty. Well, I drop it all the time, so I don't put money in it anymore. And how come the metal detector picked it up? Must be because of the bell, I guess. That Chiquito next to the golden statue wasn't the real murder weapon, pal. Yeah, I know. I just thought I'd check it again anyway. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Do you know about that sword? It's supposed to represent the multiple branches that life can take, all ending as one. Yes, I heard something about that. You know what I think about sometimes? What kind of life I'd be leading had I not joined the homicide division. You think about that kind of stuff, detective? Of course I do. I think about it a lot. Me as a traffic cop, we talked about this. There's something to be said about the humor value of Gumshoe as the Blue Badger. But there's something round buried in the ground here. Don't touch that, pal. Huh? What is it? It's a trap. People said they're meant to catch us detectives. They're real nasty. A trap for detectives? You mean like those fierce traps with sharp teeth that are supposed to snag your leg? Yeah, those. I got my finger caught in one of those once. Your finger? There was a bit of cheese and looked so tasty. I reached out and then bam! Not sure I know how to respond to a story as stupidly pitiful as that. Can I actually... something around burn the ground here. Okay, I can't. Strange. There's metal in it? This is Miss Stoneham's staff, isn't it? Scientifically speaking, they're usually made of wood. But the detector's reacting to it. Yeah, but however you look at it, the thing's made of wood, alright? I don't bother investigating anything unless it looks like it might be metallic. Isn't the whole point of a metal detector to find metal where you can't see it? If this thing is causing a racket... Here, let me take a look at it. Hey, hands off. Examining evidence is a job for the... crack. Ah, the top is coming off. Look what you've done. You've damaged a really important piece of evidence. Ah. It's a sword? That's a sword. Inside the staff. Is this? Could it be the murder weapon? I never have guessed there'd be a sword concealed in the victim's staff. They call this kind of thing a sword cane, pal. This one's a real gem. The workmanship is really something else. Thank goodness it wasn't a cane sword, or else the victim would have stabbed her own foot. I officially give up on trying to figure out how Gumshoe's mind works. If real scene of the crime was the inner temple of the garden, then why was the sword used to kill the victim found in the main hall courtyard? Hey, Gumshoe. Who knows about the hidden sword? No one. Even the police didn't know. Spoiler alert, it doesn't work well. Well, as they say, there's no team in Gumshoe. Doesn't look like there are any traces of blood on it. And I guess this isn't the murder weapon, huh? No. I'm sure someone just wiped it off after the murder. Yeah, of course. This thing's definitely the murder weapon. Great job, pal. The sword staff. Ah, so you can be one of those blade singer wizards. You know, those things. Great job, pal. They're at the same length as Shishido 2. This must be the murder weapon. Okay, I'm gonna run over to forensics. There's gotta be some traces of blood left, even if most of it's been wiped off. Who the fuck wants to be a blade singer when there's a pretty good mages out there? Sword canes. Mystic confirmed. Badass. Light up, detective. Huh? What is it, pal? I'm a pretty busy guy right now, you know? We're gonna get that staff analyzed, right? Would you mind holding off for just a while? Huh? What are you talking about, pal? Please. Just until we find Maya. Maya? What does it have to do with her? I don't know, but I'm starting to get a really bad feeling in the pit of my stomach. Oh? How so? Look. Maya's trapped inside the cavern right now. And well, we don't even know if she's okay or not. The more evidence and testimony I hear, the more uneasy I feel. You don't think... Maya's been murdered? Please, detective, let's just wait until we can get inside the sacred cavern. You're looking kind of viridian there. Okay. Just stop it with that face, pal. One thing, though. This staff's secret trick, let's keep it between you and me, alright? If it gets out that we knew about it and didn't say anything, we're finished. I understand. This is a regular run-of-the-mill staff, you got it? Okay, now you go. You take good care of it, pal. Thank you, detective. Don't worry, she'll be fine. Gumshoe. You know, there's a place at the base of this mountain that has some really good pasta. How about I take you there when you find Maya, huh, pal? Sure, thanks. It has a horde swidden inside. I can't help but wonder, though. What was Elise him doing with a staff like this in the first place? Main hall... Let's keep between you and me. Okay, immediately tell someone else. Main gate. Suspension bridge. Heavenly Hall. Anything new here? I was expecting Larry and Pearls to be here. I guess they must have gone to collect firewood. We'll have to check back later. Here. Slide. Let's try the garden first. Present. Let's check it. Be careful when it falls. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit. Leave everything up to her. Her name is Blank. Here's the whole. Here's a picture we use it when you channel her. I know you can do it. Once this is burned, also may gravely roast the master in the fires of Hades and bring our vengeance to fruition. Oh god. Think about this, Edgeworth. Okay. He's of no fucking use. Training hall. Present. This. Oh, no. Talk. I don't have enough for that. I was hoping to talk to Pearl. Move. Suspension bridge. Main gate. Main hall. Nothing new to talk about. Okay, no. Profiles. Okay. Let's move. Let's ask Gumshoe about her. I thought she wasn't actually going to become a thing. No, nothing. I've seen this lady someplace before. Isn't she that jaw-droppingly large strawberry dessert woman? Oh, yeah. She's Pearlface's mother, right? That's right. She was involved in an incident in Curing Village last year, wasn't she? Hey. She was the one who did it. Why doesn't he think his whole thought through before opening his mouth? Yeah, that was one ugly case, huh, pal? Was? I don't know. The more we look at this case, the more I feel like that one never ended. Confinement. At least we can rule her out of this case. Okay. Let's present Morgan Fay. When I think about it, I do kind of feel sorry for Mystic Morgan. It wasn't her fault that her sister was a more powerful spirit medium. Mystic Morgan just couldn't compete with her sister. Must have been really tough on her. Even so, that doesn't excuse all the things she said. Well, things she did, I mean, she said a lot of stuff, but also things she did. No, of course not. Okay, anything new? No, nothing new. Let us move out. Suspension bridge. Move Heavenly Hall, still nothing there. Suspension bridge. Move Inner Temple Gate. Garden. Anything about her? No, that's nothing. Did I check with her about this? You know that Iris had a twin sister? What? A twin? You can't be serious. Her bikini told me, but the problem is she didn't know the name of this twin. It was only about Iris having a sister in the files I checked. Well, Iris was taken in by the temple when she was really young. Apparently her sister was raised by her father, a jeweler, I think. A jeweler? Right, I just might know who this twin sister of hers is. I had a feeling you'd say that. Let me guess. Her name was Dahlia Hawthorne, right? Yes, exactly. Please tell me what you know about her, Edgeworth. Please. It was my first court case 6 years ago. I was a greenhorn, and due to my inexperience, the defendant died. Talking about Terry Falls, right? You know about that case? You're not the only one who noticed something about Iris and Dahlia Hawthorne. I checked one of Mia's old files from 6 years ago. The only thing I like about Dahlia, yeah. It's a good villain theme. Yes, Dahlia was a key witness in that case. Dahlia and Terry Falls conspired together to stage a fake kidnapping 11 years ago. They stole a jewel worth $2 million from Dahlia's father, a jeweler. And 5 years after that, she murdered her own sister, Valerie Hawthorne, to keep her from talking. Her sister? Well, her stepsister, actually. They weren't blood related. Valerie was the only daughter of Dahlia's father's second wife. Oh, and this is when she entered my life. The woman who tried to kill me. She's an awful, awful person. So after Terry Falls died, what happened to Dahlia? Did you check that out? Does it really matter? Like I said, Dahlia isn't connected with this case. Why are you so sure about that? It's simple. Dahlia Hawthorne is dead. What? Well, metabolic processes are a matter of interest only to historians, so to speak. What do you mean by Dahlia Hawthorne is dead, Edgeworth? Right, I must confess that in reading her file, I came to know of the murder case you were involved in during your college years. Dahlia Hawthorne was found guilty, thanks to the persistence of Mia Fey. Mia Fey. At the time, Dahlia, it's like she was possessed by a demon or something. It's been almost 5 years since that guilty verdict was handed down, and her sentence was finally carried out. She was executed last month. Executed? I'm sure that's a bit of a shock for you, right? And for more reasons than one. Do you understand now? She can't possibly be connected with this case. She's dead, and when someone is dead, there's no way to revive them. There's no way to revive the dead? I wonder. Seems you're unaware of one other connection yet, Edgeworth. And what is that? That Iris and Dahlia Hawthorne's mother. Edgeworth, you fool of a toque! What's her mother got to do with any of this? She's Morgan Fey, a spirit medium from a branch family of the Curain channeling technique. Did you say Curain channeling technique? Do you know something about it? Oh, yes, I know it's connected with that fraudulent spirit medium. Fraudulent? I was involved in another nightmare 17 years ago. I was caught up in the middle of a murder investigation. The police didn't have any leads. They were stumped. Yeah, we know this. The very famous spirit medium and the master of her channeling school. Do you know what happened? As a result of her efforts, an innocent man was accused of murder. She and her powers, they were all fraudulent. Edgeworth. Go to the police records room, it's all in there. All you have to do is check the DL6 instant case file and you'll know. Of course, how can I forget? Edgeworth was the victim in that case. Edgeworth, you'll understand someday. And then you'll see that the Curain channeling technique is real. Do I have Dahlia Hawthorne? I do. Move. Training hall. Here, you Dahlia Hawthorne looking motherfucker. Let's have a talk about this. And present this. Let's go through all this. Profiles. Her. Present. I'm gonna skip through this because I've already been through it. Let's see if I choose this one to count as well. It does, okay. So some things can have multiple evidence. One plus explanation. There were two of you. Show me the evidence. Dahlia Hawthorne. I have a firm grasp of the situation now, Iris. You have a sister, don't you? A twin sister, perhaps? Ah. That's right. Dahlia Hawthorne, a woman I know only too well. I had no idea you knew of her. Very impressive, Mr. Wright. But she's no longer... Yes, I know. Her sentence was carried out recently, wasn't it? I'm sorry. Thank you. There's no need to explain now, is there, Iris? This second you, who was here at the temple the night of the murder, it was your twin sister, Dahlia Hawthorne. But you said yourself a second ago. My sister's dead. Have you forgotten that? Have you forgotten this, Iris? This is a channeling dojo, a training ground with the Kurain channeling technique. That night, someone channeled Dahlia's spirit and you knew about it. That's a secret you've been trying to hide from me. We got our health back. I was in my room in the main hall that night. As soon as I heard that I'd been spotted at the inner temple, I knew. I knew it was my sister. Dahlia, the other half of me, who passed away last month. Just as I suspected, the Iris that Sister Bikini saw at the inner temple on the night of her murder. It was Dahlia Hawthorne. Why didn't you tell me this before? Because my sister always does the right thing. Excuse me? Because I mustn't get in the way of what she's trying to do. I already betrayed her once before, I can't do it again. You betrayed her? What do you mean? That's why I have to accept I may be found guilty. It's the only way. What are you talking about? You know about it, don't you, Mr. Wright? About the fake kidnapping that took place here in Eagle Mountain 11 years ago? That was the start of it all. It's what started her down that twisted path. She started to commit crime after crime, and in the end, she lost her life. It's all because I betrayed her. How did you betray her, Iris? It was no coincidence that Eagle Mountain is where the exchange was to take place. After all, I helped plan the whole thing. What? Well, I got scared, so I ran away. What are you talking about? Why would you help her? Stealing $2 million from your own father? That's awful. Well, I promised that I'd help. And she didn't do it for the money. Huh? It was revenge on our father. A revenge? What do you mean by revenge? He was a hideous man. He threw our mother away and then sent her to hell. Her mother? She must be talking about Morgan Fay. Her mother was the eldest daughter of the main branch of the Fane family. The Main family had a lot of influence in many business and political circles at the time. As the eldest daughter, our mother was set to inherit all of that as the next master. That's the reason our father married our mother in the first place, for power. But his plan backfired, because our mother's sister took it all from her. She took over as the master of Kurain. That would be Misty Fay, Maya's mother. But before long, the credibility of the Kurain tradition hit rock bottom. The new master, Mystic Misty Fay, made a terrible mistake. It was during the investigation of the DL6 incident. After that happened... I had to sit upright. Ah, I clicked the wrong thing. After that happened, our father took me and my twin sister away, leaving our mother and her home behind. He hated the place. He said it was a hick dive, that he had no reason to stay there. That's when you came here to Hazakura Temple? Yes, the woman my father took as his next wife already had a daughter, Valerie. I had no place in his new family, you see. Oh, and I haven't seen my mother since then. Having the master's seat stolen from her and being rejected by her own family, I've heard she's been very battered, spiritually and emotionally. I'm finally beginning to see how the pieces fit together. I've asked her everything I can in my capacity as a prosecutor. This incident, and everything related to it, goes back to the history of the Fae clan. That's what it looks like. Iris, there's just one more thing I want you to tell me. What is it? During the incident in which your sister Dahlia Hawthorne poisoned a lawyer, she began a relationship with a certain college student in order to hide the evidence. That college student? Have you heard anything about him? The whole time it was Maya's fault. Finally we get to send Maya to jail. Well, I did hear one thing. She said she hated his guts. I see. Thank you for your help. You're welcome. Hurry up, Phoenix Wright. There's still much to investigate. Leave these locks to me. I'll open them for you, I promise. Thank you. So I'd better continue my investigation. So one giant secret left to unlock. Pearl's a psych lock. Move. Anything new in the garden? Nope. Gate. Suspension bridge. Let's go to Heavenly Hall. Let's go to main gate. Let's see if there's anything new from the other people. No. Anything new? No. What about courtyard? Anything new? No. Okay, let's go to, let's go find Pearl down by Heavenly Hall. Look at that. They really did make a fire right in front of the shack. Oh, Mr. Nick. Ah, you're too late, Nick. If you came here for one of our potatoes, you've already polished them all off. I think I've pretty much got all the evidence I need. I just need to find out what Pearls is hiding. Let's pop a cheeky save. Look at all them locks. The night of the crime. After dinner on the night of the murder, you were supposed to be in Lisa Dean's room. Yes, I was so happy when she invited me. But I didn't go in the end. You didn't go? No, there was somewhere else I had to go instead. I was so worried I had to go. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was so nervous. The Pearls never went to Mr. Noon's room, but she was too worried about something or someone else. Pearls? The night of the murder, you went to this place, didn't you? The Inner Temple. You went here, didn't you, Pearls? Looks like she's still not going to open up to me. This is where you went because you were so worried, right? And the next question is, who or what were you so worried about? Now I'm gonna look at, did the child get possessed and murder the nun? Quite possibly right. You mean you know? If I'm right, if this is the case, if we take the same thought process that happened during the first game, then it means Pearl is on the hook for murder. If I'm right, will you tell me the whole truth? Okay. In this place for one very simple reason, and this is for Maya. It's obvious what you were so worried about, Pearls. It was Maya, wasn't it? Ah. You knew the training Maya was undertaking was dangerous. After all, it was a special course. I signed up for your special course. Well, my, quite brave of you considering how cold it is. Young people can be so reckless with their health. Don't blame me if you become one of those you channel. Mr. Bikini scared you with what she said, didn't she? And because it was you who introduced Hazakura Temple to Maya in the first place, you felt responsible, didn't you? Thinking about what could happen to Mystic Maya made me more and more worried. I couldn't sit still at all. That's why I decided to go find out how she was doing at the Inner Temple. And we're clear now that she went to the Inner Temple that night, Prince. What's not clear is what happened after that. At what time was it when you headed over to the Inner Temple? Well, it was probably around 9:30 when I left the main hall, where the real training was to start at 10. I wanted to get there before it started. But there was so much snow, so I didn't get there until after 10 o'clock. Until after 10? How did you know what time it was? Because I heard the bell ringing for lights out. You heard the lights out bell? Hazakura Temple's bell's pretty small though, isn't it? You must have really good hearing. I was really trying to pick up the sound of that bell, that's all. Didn't want to miss it, that would be terrible. I was trying to hear the bell. Tell me, Pearls, why were you so worried about hearing that bell? Huh? Oh, I think I know why. The reason you're so worried about that bell was because of this. What did... yeah, it's this note. You were given some instructions to follow for that night, weren't you? I presume you recognize these pieces of paper? Ah! Where did you? In the incinerator at the Inner Temple. Pearls, you were following the instructions on this letter that night, weren't you? That's why you couldn't afford to miss the sound of the lights out bell. I'm speechless, Mr. Nick. You're amazing. These instructions that were found in the incinerator, I believe they were written for you, Pearls. For me, I know. Julep, how are you doing? Thank you for the follow and welcome to the chat. I hope your night's going okay. So the kid's an accomplice, if not the murderer herself. Not intentionally. As you can see, a large portion has been burnt, but the last section is still fairly legible. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit. Who was it, Pearls? Whose spirit were you supposed to be channeling? That's good to hear, Julep. She's more like the getaway car. True. Taking into account the author of the note and their purpose for writing it, whose spirit would Pearls been trying to channel? Don't overthink it, Phoenix. It's pretty obvious who Pearls is supposed to channel. The person you were trying to channel that night, Pearls, was... Godot! It was Dahlia Hawthorne, wasn't it? That was the name that was in the letter. Ah! It's just as I suspected. It wasn't Iris whose sister Bikini met at the inner temple that night. It was Dahlia Hawthorne. Do you know anything about her, Pearls? Do you know what kind of a woman Dahlia Hawthorne was? No. I've never heard of anyone by that name before reading those instructions. I thought so. Pearls doesn't have a clue. She doesn't know that Dahlia is her sister. About the instructions in the letter I found, Pearls. Who wrote them? Whoever it was asked you to channel the spirit of someone you'd never heard of. You must have quite a lot of respect for them. Oh, I forgot to take my tablet. Ooh. After all, you can follow their instructions without question. So here's my next question. Who wrote the set of instructions for you to follow? It was Morgan. Pearls, I have to wonder about something. You didn't have any idea what these instructions meant, did you? Badump. Did she just shit herself? But you follow them to the letter regardless. Why? Because it was your own mother who asked you, that's why. How did you... I figured it out. The person who wrote you this letter was your own mother, Morgan Fay. Wow. Alright, Pearls, it's time you started telling me the truth. Mr. Nick, Why is she holding back from me? I don't like this. Don't underestimate me just because I'm a child. Huh? If you're trying to say I followed these instructions, I'd like to see some proof. What? Because Imagine this lawyer yelling at this child. Can you imagine Manfred von Karma trying to deal with Pearl? I don't think you have any. Do anything rather than carrying out those instructions. You'll have to produce some more evidence then. One more thing should do it. Alright, Pearls, we both know someone carried out these instructions on the night of the murder. But you're right, there's no evidence that proves it was you. I knew it. However, you know that whoever did it was a child. Huh? How do you know that? It couldn't have been an adult. No adult would have made a simple mistake like that. A simple mistake? What do you mean by that? I'm sure you thought you were carefully following instructions you'd been given, but you misunderstood some of the words, and this was the evidence that proves it. Let's check this. The channel spirit leave everything to her. Make... Bravely roast. Well, this is blank. Burn the blank. Also make blank. Tell him... Bravely roast the master. She put the gravy. It was you who slaughtered gravy on this hanging scroll, wasn't it? Ah. What? Why would I do something like... You remember what this was written in that letter? Bravely roast the master in the fires of Hades and bring our vengeance to fruition. We didn't know how to read the words gravely and roast among others, right? How do you know that? The conversation you had with Miss O'Nim on the night of the murder? Perhaps we can read some books together. Really? I'd love to. I'm not very good at reading. Haha, well then, would like to practice reading with me? Miss Elise. So for example, how do you read this? It says gravely. That's kind of a tough word. Foiled by a side dish. The gravy train has no brakes. Sure, Mr. Lim taught you how to read gravely and roast. What she didn't teach you is what they meant. Gravely sounds like gravy to me, and the only roast I could think of was the food. Next stop, Flavor Town. Population, the murdered. That's why you did it. That's why you covered the picture of the master in gravy from that night's pot roast. To be honest, I did think it was a bit strange. Guess I really did get the wrong idea. Just a tiny bit. I really am useless. I couldn't even burn the letter properly as my mother asked of me. Such a simple thing, and I couldn't even do it right. Night of the crime. After dinner that night, I did go to the inner temple, with a pot full of leftover gravy. The gravy? I saw the picture on the hanging scroll near the sacred cavern. I was sure it was the Master of Curain, like it said in the letter. I see, and then don't worry, you still did better than Larry has at anything in his life. And then, well, it was already way past 10 when I got there because of all the snow, so I went to the inner temple guest area. The guest area? Yes, I thought I could wait there until the training was over. Why didn't you just go to the training hall? Because Mystic Maya's main training had already started and I couldn't interrupt it. I just stayed where I was and prayed for her to get through it. But then Pearls, did you fall asleep? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, I just couldn't help it. Hey, don't worry about it, Pearl, who cares if you fell asleep? I fell asleep waiting for Iris too, it happens. Anyway, then you found yourself trapped at the inner temple? Yes, when I woke up, it was morning. I tried not to cry, but Dusky Bridge wasn't there anymore, and there was no one in the training hall. But everyone had left me because I overslept. I threw the letter into the incinerator, then I heated up the leftover gravy and I let off some steam by chucking the gravy on the scroll while you cried. It must have been pretty scary for you, Pearl. I know what it's like, Nick. You used to leave me behind when I fell asleep at school, too. Don't equate something so trivial with her experience, Larry. It was written right in my mother's letter. It said, as soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit. I was on my way over to the inner temple when I heard the bell ring. You channeled Dahlia Hawthorne's spirit? No, I tried, but I couldn't do it. You couldn't do it? I never failed at channeling someone. This is the first time it happened. I tried and I tried and I tried. Yesterday, this morning, the whole time. I just couldn't do it. I'm gonna get you down, Pearl. It'll all work out. If you want, I'll come flying through the sky for you. Whoosh, just like that. But you never managed to channel the spirit. Is that why you think your spiritual powers are gone? Yes, I don't know what to do. Isn't there any other explanation for why you couldn't channel the spirit? Well, there's one other possibility. It's not very likely, though. Could you please tell me what it is, anyway? It could happen if someone else is already channeling the same spirit. Someone else? What do you mean? The person is still alive, true. Although, when Maya tried channeling Meeny Miney, or Mimi tried channeling Mimi Miney, she got the sense of being inside the box waiting. So if someone was still alive, I would assume Pearl would still get some sense of that person. Someone else? What do you mean? There's like one of each spirit, right? Oh god. Is Iris channeling Dahlia? You can't see a hot chick if she's already taken. Then Larry, fuck off. Yeah, true. Then that would mean on the night of the murder, someone else channeled her spirit before Pearl's could. Someone else channeled the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne. I'm a failure. I couldn't even grant my mother's final wish. Her final wish? Yes, this letter. This is my last wish, she said. So make sure you follow the instructions carefully. This letter. I definitely need to find out more about it. My mother has gone to a place called a penitentiary. Yeah, I know, Pearls. I visit her every month. And last month, she told me... The time we've been waiting for has come, Pearl. There's something I need you to do for me. I hid a letter for you at our home before they brought me here. I want you to read it and do exactly what it says. It's for the good of the Fae clan, my angel. You'll be doing a great thing. Now listen carefully, and I'll tell you where the letter's hidden. God, it's been 2 and a bit hours and we still haven't gotten to the next trial. My mother is always nice to me. I love her very much. Yeah, moms do anything for the kids, right? She said it was for the good of the Fae clan, so I knew I had to help her. I mean, Mystic Maya's part of the Fae clan, so it had to be good for her too. That's right, isn't it, Mr. Nick? I guess so, yeah. There was a picture with the letter too. Picture? Of Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Usually a picture's enough to channel someone's spirit, but this time... Pretty weird, huh? Like Larry knows anything about this stuff. There's something else that was strange about my mother's letter. The seal on it was broken, as if someone had already opened it once before. That sure is pretty strange. Someone had opened it already? Thanks, Pearls. You really helped me out. You're very welcome. My mother's watching over us, so I'm sure Mystic Maya will be alright. Look at that innocent smile on her face. What am I supposed to say to her? Huh. Finally figured it out, have you, Trite? You finally realized how terrible of a crime being painfully obvious is? Godot? The entrance to the sacred cavern looks like a freaking puzzle workshop. I guess he's talking about Iris and the lock-breaking effort. But it's all a waste of time. Why do you say that? Because Maya Fey isn't coming back. What? You don't know what you're talking about. How can you say something like that? It was your job to protect her, Trite, just like it was your job to protect Mia Fey. 2 sisters caught up in the worst circumstances. I realized that, and you're the only one who was by their sides. You're the only one who could have saved them. They didn't know anything about what was going on. Huh. What'd I just say, Trite? Being oblivious is a heinous crime in itself. Tomorrow. We'll settle everything in court tomorrow, once and for all. Mr. Nick? Is what that man said true? It'll be alright, Pearls. I'm sure Maya's alive. You'll see it for yourself tomorrow. You can just try channeling her, and if you can't channel her, she's probably alive. Or Mia, or Maya could channel Mia, and then Pearl could channel Mia, and have a talk like that. Yeah, that's right. I know I can trust you, Mr. Nick. My dear Pearl, you've done so well, my child, my Pearl. It's better that you don't know what you've done. I knew this day would come for you. The blood of the main family is no more. Now, finally, after all this time, the Master's seat is yours. My last great wish. It seems I was just in time. To be continued. Save, yes please. Good morning. Oh, are you by yourself? Ah, morning, Pearls. Mr. Nick, please tell me what's going to happen to Mystic Maya. I'm sorry, we don't know yet. The investigation's still going on, so I wasn't allowed into the inner temple. Oh, I see. So is Sister Iris still trying to remove those trick locks in the training hall? No, she's the defendant in this case, so she can't be at the inner temple. She's required to be here in court. Then how come she's not here in the defendant's lobby? I have to admit, it's kind of strange. If you're looking for Iris, she's in the prosecutor's lobby. Edgeworth? What's Iris doing over there? She's going over today's testimony with the prosecutor as we speak. Today's testimony? You heard me. Iris is going to be testifying as a witness for the prosecution. Wait, what? The prosecutor is squeezing her for a confession, or so I heard. Franziska von Karma, what are you up to? I know what you're thinking, but Franziska isn't going to be the prosecutor today. What? Then who is? Who else would it be but Godot? Godot? Franziska is engaged in important work at the Sacred Cavern. The Sacred Cavern? You don't mean that she's... Exactly. She's been out there all night trying to remove those trick locks. With the head nun's assistance, naturally. We estimate the last of the locks should be taken care of in about 3 hours. I hope everything continues to go smoothly and we receive some good news soon. Yeah, thanks, Edgeworth. So now we have a grand total of 4 lawyers in this case. Yeah, 5 if Mia gets called in, gets summoned by if Mia gets summoned by Pearls. Prosecutor Godot intends to nail this case shut today. Be prepared to fight like there's no tomorrow. You don't have to tell me that. Touché, I can already see it in your eyes. Not the same fever-ridden, frantic maniac you were yesterday. It's strange, in the way here I decided that today would be the end of all of this. Almost immediately after I made that decision, I felt myself getting stronger. Interesting. Maybe you passed your call into someone else, literally. And with that, I'll leave the rest in your capable hands, partner. Thanks. Can we get the image of Marshall from the 5th case in the first game here? Leave the capable hands, partner. And they were partners. I still don't have answers for most of the riddles plaguing this case. The circumstances around the murder of Miss Elise Donim, no, I mean Miss Misty Fey. The impossible flight Larry claims to have seen. And what that woman is really after. I think Iris summoned Dahlia. I will solve them all and bring this whole tragedy to an end. Court is now in session for the trial of Iris of Hazakura Temple. Your Honor? What are you... Oh, who, me? Oh yeah, because we're at this judge, plus the other one. My little brother came to visit me in my chambers. Oh my god, his little brother! All of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, he developed a scorching fever and fainted. The Phoenix gave the cold to the other judge or something. So we have the original judge. And therefore, I'll be standing in for him. I see, Your Honor. Okay, I'm back. What did I miss? We are back in court. We have all the evidence that we can find. So they're brothers. That explains a lot. My poor brother. He looked a bit pale. Not to mention sad that he couldn't be here. It is impossible to predict what the future has in store for any of us. This is precisely why people feel the need to judge the past. Oh, there's more than 2 judges in the city. Oh my god, is the judiciary kind of like the Fae channeling line? How that cup came in. Oh, I'm fairly sure he is telepathy. Godot's theme is amazing. Yeah, what if only judges from a single family can be judges in the city? Well said, Mr. Godot. I understand exactly what you said, at least up until the end, anyway. Now then, Mr. Godot, please proceed with your opening statement. Humans are fragile, fickle beings. Our hearts change with the shifting of the tides. There's only one thing that remains a constant in this crazy world. Is it black coffee, though, Tech Knight? If there's anything added to it, according to Godot, it's wrong. The bitter darkness that lies at the bottom of this mug. How did judges pass down the incompetent family Triclops looking ass? Then you mean... forget it. What do you mean? During yesterday's trial, the accused refused to admit her role in the crime, but today she has had a change of heart. Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple has a confession to make. No, it's not, so I'd never be as much of a man as Chad Godot. Well then, what you have to do is you have to start drinking black coffee. You have to start drinking it with nothing added. Get used to it. Confession, the defendant. Iris, why didn't she discuss this with me first? You got a fucking chug, yeah. Very well. This court will now hear the defendant's confession. I too find no joy in life. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask her for her name and profession. That's one of my rules. Then what you need to do is you need to get a better temperature tolerance. My name is Iris. I am but a simple nun undergoing training at Hazakura Temple. Witness, something that you want to confess to? Yes, but first I want to apologize to Mr. Wright. I can't continue lying to everyone anymore. At Iris? Why at Iris? It's alright, what is it? Mr. Wright, I have to admit that I did play a part in this terrible incident. Are you actually confessing? Are you saying that you were the one who murdered Miss Elise Donim? No, I'm not, Your Honor. But I dealt with the cover-up after the murder took place. After her spirit left, I took the lifeless shell of Mystic Elise and carried it to the Hazakor Temple courtyard where I desecrated it. What? Order in the court. Order. Witness. If you two are going to fight, you're going to have to fight with lambs. Are you saying you were an accomplice to the murder? Yes, that's correct. Hacha. Bunk. What? 3 minutes in court, I'm already covered in a cold sweat. Huh. Everyone on the planet is an accomplice to something. Are you quoting Yasuo? But the NG Knight has God and anime on his side. Just happens to be that in this case, it's to murder. Isn't that right, Mr. Trite? You're that good dough. So this is the confession they were conferring about. It pains me to say this, but it looks like Iris's testimony was all a lie. Crumbled up and shoved into a pocket. Now then, little lady, if you don't mind, I've got a question for you. Whose crime were you trying to cover up by your actions? Iris is covering for someone? Now I'm definitely up the creek without a paddle, or a life jacket. I've been at Hazakor Temple since I was a little girl. Hazakor Temple is run by one of the branch families of the Kurain tradition. One of our missions is to protect the main family. I'm sorry, but main family? Yes, and that's why I would dirty myself, if need be, to protect her. The daughter of the master of the Kurain channeling technique, Mystic Maya Fey. Huh? Is Maya Fey on trial for murder again? Wake up and smell the coffee, Trite. She's naming Maya? So... Every game, Maya is on trial for murder. Old hat at this point. Order in the court. So not only did you witness the murder, you know the name of the murderer. I'm terribly sorry, but it's true. I saw her commit the crime with my very own eyes. And then I cleaned up the area to try to protect her. It's the Maya special. That's ridiculous. Maya can never do so. Just again! The defense will refrain from commenting until the appropriate time. Now, witness, let's hear your testimony. What exactly happened on the night of the crime? Yes, Your Honor. I thought I was prepared for the unexpected. Never imagined the case would wind up going in this direction. The real murderer. I went to the inner temple that night and I saw it all happen in the garden. I saw Mystic Elise strike Mystic Maya with her staff. While Mystic Maya was still stumbling, Mystic Elise moved to deliver a fatal strike. Mystic Maya tried desperately to defend herself and stole the weapon. It was only in self-defense, you can't blame her for it. So it was in self-defense. Yes, Mystic Elise was the one who attacked first. That's why I tried my best to protect Mystic Maya. You moved the victim's body to the temple so that Maya wouldn't be suspected. Isn't that right? Not bad, you've got the instincts of a true criminal. Something's not quite right. I'm sure it was established yesterday. But Iris never went to the inner temple that night. And that the person who did go was that woman. Iris even admitted it. Now then, Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination. Let's press everything, then save and see what we can present evidence-wise. Nope, back. Sister Iris, your testimony has changed quite a bit since yesterday. You stated yesterday that, on the night of the murder, you didn't go to the inner temple. Did she now? Too bad for you, what she said yesterday doesn't mean much today. By the way, where were you when she claimed that she didn't go? Oh it was in the inner temple's training hall. A private conversation between the two of you does not constitute testimony. That would be probably described as hearsay, though first and only time that this has been brought up, hearsay. What do you have to say, witness? I just couldn't tell him the truth at that time. Mystic Maya, she's your girlfriend, isn't she? I didn't want to be the one to break it to you that I saw her commit murder. There, we all understand how difficult this is for you. Now then, let's continue with the testimony. What did you witness in the temple garden? Well, Your Honor. This ain't Iris. You're saying the victim attacked Miss Faye? Yes, it was a truly frightening scene. Mystic Maya was struck hard on the head and looked like she was going to collapse. What were you doing at the time? Johnny Depp case? Oh god, yeah. That fucking case. Have you seen the Phoenix Wright kind of mock-up of it? It's great. Why didn't you stop them from fighting? I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Wright. I was frightened. I couldn't move. I couldn't even speak. I was in such shock. That's perfectly understandable, my dear. This doesn't sound right. I don't believe this testimony for a minute. What happened after that? Still stumbling, moved to deliver a fatal strike. She moved in to deliver a fatal strike. Yep, they did Alex Jones one as well. Yes, I'm sure of it. She threw down her staff and reached into her robe for a weapon. Wait a minute. What was this weapon? It was some kind of dagger. A dagger, huh? And Elise Nim tried to stab her with this weapon. To kill Miss Faye. Yes, exactly. Huh. Looked like I did after I mistakenly took a swig of Worcester sauce. Do you have a problem with the testimony we're hearing from your client, lawyer boy? Do I have a problem with Iris's testimony? There is one thing. Your Honor, I have a small problem with the witness's testimony. You do? This witness is your own client. Yes, well, nevertheless... That's fine. Witness, let's add your last statement to the testimony. Yes, sir. Hey, just a moment. It's my job to say that. Listen, Gramps, I won't say it again. Final judgment will be... Okay, now, let's continue. What the fuck, Godot? Yeah. We're gonna press it, we're gonna come back to it. She threw her staff away. Mystic Elise was trying to kill Mystic Maya. I think that's why she wanted a more lethal weapon. Did he just break down the judge? I think so. It's true, it's not easy to inflict a deadly blow with a staff. I mean, it is very easy to inflict a deadly blow with a staff. Have you seen fights with staffs? Someone who knows how to fight with a staff will crush a skull in a single swipe. You have a huge amount of leverage with the staff. The victim herself chose to throw away her staff. Yes, that's what I saw. Is there anything odd about that, Mr. Wright? Yeah, it's all alright. Master of Shillelagh. Shillelaghs are short staffs. Shillelagh fighting is a different fighting style entirely. But staff fighting, like proper HEMA staff fighting, it can break through. Not break through, but the thing about, if you think about armor in the old days, there wasn't a huge amount of padding. It was mainly for to prevent sharp objects from getting through. But a staff is pure blunt. Is pure blunt momentum. It you swipe down on a helmet with it, that's going to pass through the helmet to the person inside. Because of force part of it. Yeah, you can get really flexible staves, but it's not really the same. If there's a fighting style that I really want to learn, it's staff fighting. Because honestly, while you may not be the perfect quarterstaff, while you can't get a proper quarterstaff, if you're in trouble, getting a stick is a lot easier than getting a blade. They did have padding, yes, but it wasn't nearly as good. And the helmet was a lot less padded than underneath their chest plate. And a lot of attacks from quarterstaff are aimed towards the head in terms of doing damage. So yeah. Mystery might try desperately to defend herself and stole the weapon. And then Mystic Maya, she turned things around, and then she used the weapon she had taken and lunged forward for a strike. Witness, are you absolutely certain? Yes, but believe me, she had no choice. If Mystic Maya hadn't done something, Maya Fey's name would have been written on this autopsy report instead. Yes, I see. This is bad. I still can't put the pieces together. Let's find I know what the contradiction is. I only have this to say. It was only in self-defense, you can't blame her for it. Well, let's see about that. So you're saying Maya Fey was the one who stabbed Miss Elise Dunham. Sister Iris, is that really what you saw? Yes. Tisk tisk tisk, Trite. If your mug is filled with black and bitter suspicions, the only way to get rid of them is to drink them down quick. Like this. Tech Knight, that's how you drink coffee. I know it's supposed to be a metaphor, but I don't get it. Only one thing you need to get, Trite. It's called evidence. Now hurry up before my next cup gets cold. What does that mean? Is Godot waiting for me to point out the contradictions? I like to avoid the whole spirit channeling thing if I can. It spills me when I try that. Then what you need is a sippy cup for coffee. Not only would it be inadmissible as evidence, but I think I might actually hurt her standing with the judge. Working to pick her testimony apart and expose the unnatural sounding parts. Don't know why Iris would tell a story like this. But there are two things knows that just don't add up. But also the fact that only Misty Fey's fingerprints were found on the staff. Let's pop a save. Sister Iris, there's something strange about your version of events. Huh? Miss Dunham throwing her staff away makes no sense at all to me. But all you can do with a staff is hit someone. Naturally, you wouldn't know this, Sister Iris, but the victim's staff had a special feature about it. As you can see, it's a sword. Ah. If Elise Dunham really had wanted to kill Maya Fey, she wouldn't have needed to use a separate dagger, not when she already had a beautiful blade in her hands already. Well, Sister Iris, what do you have to say? Objection! Cane swords fuck severely. Yeah. What I still find funny is that shillelaghs, from all the way back from when the British ruled Ireland, shillelaghs are still illegal in the UK because it was made illegal in the United Kingdom and in all its territories, as far as I know, including Ireland, because it was a weapon that was effective, and they couldn't necessarily stop people from like having canes. So shillelaghs were banned because they didn't want the Irish having weapons. That was an impressive bit of investigating, right? I would have thought there was a sword hidden in that staff. But even so, how should I put this? A long sword is unwieldy and thus quite ineffective at close quarters combat. Maybe that's why she chose a dagger over her blade. Well, can he provide a dagger? Anyway, the type of weapon she chose to use isn't what's important. The important thing is that she tried to kill Maya Fey. Not a fucking longsword, yeah. As long as there's nothing strange about that, there's no problem with her testimony. But there is something strange about this whole testimony. Yeah, exactly. Well, Mr. Wright, the prosecution has a point. Very well, Your Honor. The defense will now present evidence to back its argument. Mr. Wright, I have here another piece of evidence that shows that this testimony can't be trusted. Weasley could never attempt to take the life of Maya Fey. Because it's actually her mother. Elise Dunham would never have attacked Maya Fey. How can you be so sure? Because the victim's real name was not Elise Dunham. Her real name was Misty Fey. Fey? Ah, no. Not Mystic Misty Fey. Who is this Misty Fey? Is she related to... Misty Fey is the master of the curing channeling technique. She is also the mother of Maya Fey. Is it really true, Mr. Wright? Was the least on him actually the great Mystic Misty? There's no doubt about it. It looks like Iris had no idea. I can hardly believe it. The idea that she would try to kill her only daughter, one she hadn't seen in 17 years. Perhaps the prosecution can offer some explanation for why she would do such a thing. Godot still looks so fucking cool. Order in the court. Upon first hearing the witness's testimony, it seemed natural enough. However, in light of some facts that have just been presented, one, that the victim supposedly threw away a sword during a fight, and two, that the two people battling to death were mother and daughter, despite the facts being unbelievable when taken on their own. When taken together, the entire story seems difficult to believe. And he's not telling. Kinda want that visor he has, with coloured lines of blue, not gonna lie. Let me have a quick check for something. Open up. Thingiverse. Look. Godot. You can print... you can print Godot's visor, and all you need to do is get some transparent plastic and slide it in. There's nothing in this world that is impossible, except for one little thing. Yes, what is this one little impossible thing? Huh, you still don't get it. You think maybe my beans are under-roasted, but you have no idea, Gramps? Could you get to your point? I heard this witness's confession this morning, just as I had taken the first sip of my 8th cup of morning coffee. You're going to ruin your health, my friend. Anyway, after hearing this woman's confession, I had a detective who loves to investigate sent to the scene of the crime. And he discovered this little beauty. Is that the dagger the witness testified to seeing? Obviously, Your Honor. But do you not notice something else? Now that you mention it, if you look closely, there appears to be blood on it. Jesus, dude, how is this dude not dead from coffee overdose? I don't know. Where did you find that? I didn't see that when I investigated the crime scene. Did you investigate the pine tree at the crime scene? Huh? The pine tree? This dagger was stuck in the back of the pine tree. When the last blow was struck, ending the violent battle between the two women, this little baby was thrown in the direction of the back of the pine tree. Earlier, so this coffee, nothing to him. Yeah. Which means the blood in this dagger belongs to the victim, correct? Huh. Were you even listening, old man? I first heard this confession this morning, just as I had taken the first sip of my 13th cup of morning coffee. Didn't you say it was your 8th just a few minutes ago? His blood is coffee. I didn't have enough time to get the blood analysed in such short notice. Okay, so we don't know that it's her blood. In any case, the court will accept the dagger as evidence. Furthermore, order that a blood test be performed on it immediately. This is my sweetheart. Make sure you treat her right. See that fast? I don't know. Bailiff, get this piece of evidence to the crime lab for testing immediately. That's being analysed now. Now then, the testimony we've just heard had numerous unbelievable aspects to it. However, after having found the very dagger the witness spoke of, I believe we can consider her testimony to be credible. Aquarian Godot. Cute girls never lie, ever. Who just has an IV of coffee from outside the suit going in. In any case, witness, if you could please testify again to this court. About what, Your Honor? About the incident you saw, the battle between the two women. Yes, Your Honor. Mystic Maya stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with a staff. But then she dodged Mystic Elise's next attack and stole her weapon. Suddenly, Mystic Elise was the one on the defensive with her back to the stone lantern. Where's the missing snow? Snow should be missing. That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed. Everyone collapses! That was a very heartbreaking story. I don't know if there were any bad feelings between them, but it had been 17 years since Mystic Misty's disappearance. Perhaps they simply didn't recognize each other anymore. That seems reasonable. Now then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination. Okay, stumble briefly. Iris, where were you standing when you witnessed all this? What do you mean? Well, if either of them had noticed you, they might not have continued their battle. I wonder if that's true. The two of them, they were standing near the garden stone lantern. I was watching the whole thing from behind. It was dark where the two of them were, so I think that's why they didn't see me. So it was dark in the garden when the murder took place. Tell me, what did Miss Maya Fey do after she was struck? Then she dodged. Did she dodge to the left or the right? What happened to the victim's staff then? I'm not sure. The area was very dark, so I really couldn't see. Coffee drunk through an emergency induction port at sea? I think it got knocked away somewhere as the fight escalated. That makes sense. That would explain the need for the dagger. Mystic Elise raised the dagger to strike, but Mystic Maya dodged it at the last second. The dagger struck the lantern and fell to the ground. And at some point, Mystic Maya picked it up. Wait. What did the victim do? Someone from here. Elise was the one on the defensive with her back to the stone lantern. You're saying that Maya Fey turned the tables on the victim? Yes. But Mystic Maya wasn't herself at the time. After all, her life was in danger. I still can't believe it. The idea of Maya cornering someone at knife point is just silly. As they say, a cornered fox is more dangerous than a jackal. I believe the correct description of a cornered fox is scared and petrified. Your animal analogies have grown tiresome. You're the one who started it. Anyway, so after Maya Fey backed the victim into the stone lantern, what happened next? Okay. Are you absolutely certain that's what you saw? Yes, I'm almost certain. Almost. The garden was dark. I couldn't really tell who was who. Well, what did she just say? So in other words, it could have been someone else entirely. We know that Maya Fey was at the inner temple that night, and that the woman that was killed was Elise Dunn. Isn't it fairly obvious who attacked who? No, I don't have anything to counter that yet. Well then, witness, please continue with your testimony. Yes, Your Honor. Yeah, exactly. It would kill her testimony. The two of them face each other for a moment. Mystic Maya rushed straight into Mystic Elise. Mystic Elise doubled over and fell to the ground. But she was stabbed in the stomach, huh? Yes. Let's have a look at the photo of the crime scene. Okay, stomach area. Then collapsed. Where did that dagger go? I have no idea. It was dark and I couldn't see. According to the detective who found the dagger, it was stuck into the pine tree in the garden. Looks like he was flung towards the tree after the struggle. Yet why she was stabbed with a sword. Yeah, I don't get it either. Must be so easy to be a prosecution in this world. Just make up your own arbitrary rules as you go. Exactly. As long as you have this judge anyway, and this judge's brother. Getting stabbed in the stomach, the victim collapsed right away. Now that I think of it, she seemed to stare at Mystic Maya for a while. Mystic Maya stood there, not moving an inch. It felt for a moment like time had just stopped. But then, suddenly, as if the spell had worn off, Mystic Elise fell over. A reasonable story at first, but there's one thing that's completely impossible. The idea of Maya stabbing someone means this faulty testimony must contain another contradiction in it somewhere. Okay, save. Dodge on her weapon. With her back to the stone lantern. Do we have... You heard nothing about a talisman. Where is the autopsy report? Stabbing back, yeah. Something about you just isn't right today, Iris. Huh? Until now, I didn't think you were the type to make such a careless mistake. I completely forgot I was stabbed in the back. However, the testimony you just gave contains quite a few contradictions. Well, what do you mean? Massive and wrinkly. What's so wrong about my testimony? According to you, Maya Face stabbed the victim while she had her back to the stone lantern, correct? Yes, that's right. But in that case, the victim would have been stabbed in the stomach, right? Yes, I think so. But according to the autopsy report, the cause of death was due to blood loss from a stab wound to her back. Ah. This proves the victim was stabbed from behind, not from the front. Sister Iris, it appears another seed of doubt has sprouted from your testimony. What? What is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright? Huh. It's simple. People are like books. We've all got a front and a back, you get my drift? Is that all you have to say? I can also say that darkness loves to play with the human mind. Could you please not off with the cheesy proverbs and illogical metaphors already? The point is, too much of the testimony just doesn't make sense. Throwing away useful staff, and little fighting being mother and daughter. And now she falsely claims the victim was stabbed in the stomach? There certainly are some inconsistencies. Well, Iris, how about it? Well, it's just... If you ask me, you're just being too naive about the whole thing. What do you mean? There are 253 distinct types of bitterness in coffee, but to pick out each one requires total concentration and the use of all senses. Were you really concentrating on what this witness actually said? Prosecutor Godot, explain yourself. The witness was quite unambiguous about her own ambiguities when she said that the garden was dark and she couldn't see clearly. A human needs one thing to see clearly, and that is light. Light? About your ears have you pick out the fucking bitterness, Godot. By the way, how did you know? Hazakura has a rule that on nights when an acolyte is at the inner temple training, the stone lantern in the garden must be kept lit. I did wonder what the stone lantern was there for. Well, if that's true, shouldn't the witness have been able to see the crime more clearly? Normally, yes, Your Honor, but according to the head nun, the Sister Bikini, on the night of the crime it was impossible to light the stone lantern. Impossible? It hadn't been used in a long time and the wick was no good. In other words, it had to have been nearly pitch black in the garden that night. There could have been a faint light coming from the training hall, but that's all. I don't know how to sense bitterness when I put my finger in coffee, Godot. Most enlightening. He got new coffee just to slam it. Yes, that illuminating fact has chased all the contradictions away. If the staff was dropped, it would be difficult to see. I'll explain why they didn't recognize each other. We can't see the demons that lurk in the night. That's why humans are weak. Isn't that right, Trite? No. What about the other torches? Order. Here, Your Honor. Let me present the stone lantern into evidence. Maybe it'll rekindle the flame of truth in your mind. It was not lit the night of the crime. Why is the judge just sitting there with that look on his face? What's wrong, Your Honor? Was that flame too hot? This lantern. There's something written on it. Question mark? Why, it's written in blood. Oh yeah, because Godot can't see red. So the judge didn't know about that yet. Written in blood? It says Maya upside down. What the? Oh yes, that's right. After being cornered and then stabbed by Mystic Maya, Mystic Elise didn't fall down right away. She must have been writing that on the stone lantern behind her, with the blood that was draining out of her body. It certainly looks that way. Hang on just a minute. What are you all talking about? What do you mean, what are we all talking about? We're talking about the message written in blood. Nonsense. This lantern, it's as clean as a whistle. Could it be? He can't see the bloody writing at all? Now that I think of it, he did say something to me yesterday. My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. So that's what he meant by that. In any case, this is obviously an important clue. We now know that the crime scene was dark, and that the victim scrawled this No, we don't know the victim scrawled it. Well, Mr. Godot, anything further? Mr. Godot? Okay then, let's move on. Godot is literally shaking. Somehow, I don't think it's from caffeine overdose. I believe it has now been established that Miss O'Neill was killed by my... No, it hasn't! That's just wrong. Now it's time to turn our attention to you. Yes, sir. After the victim died, you did something, didn't you? Let's hear it. We're all ears. That's like his catchphrase. Also, like, that's not one of my rules. After Mystic Elise died, I called out to Mystic Maya. I thought it was my duty to protect the future master of the curing tradition. So I removed the body from the inner temple by myself. I dragged it behind me all the way across Dusky Bridge. Then I used the snowmobile to carry it back to Hazakura Temple and... I used the Chijishito to alter the way the wound looked. So you moved the body? Yes, I was raised at Hazakura Temple. I owe a great deal of thanks to the Fey clan. But even so, I never imagined that Elise Donim was actually Misty Fey. I've committed a terrible sin. A terrible trick of fate. I believe you're looking for a twist of fate, Your Honor. I intended to return to the inner temple after taking care of the body, but you were spotted by the head nun, correct? Yes, and that's why I couldn't go back. Your story makes sense, I suppose. Mr. Wright, go ahead with your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Press everything. So you waited until everything was over before making a move. No, it's not like that. She saw someone murdered right in front of her eyes. It's not surprising that she was a little timid. Yes, I suppose that's true. Sometimes when I'm watching lawyers argue back and forth with each other, I feel so helpless that I just sit quietly and wait for them to reach a conclusion. Isn't it your job as the judge to mediate the argument? It wasn't until Mystic Maya saw me that it finally dawned on her what she had done. So then, you knew? You knew the significance of the name Maya Fey? Yes, of course I did. That's odd. I mean, Sister Bikini didn't recognize Maya's name, let alone her position. Anyway, she was a very special person indeed. So I removed the body... Why did you do that? I didn't want Mystic Maya to be suspected in any way. I thought the best thing would be to remove the body from the crime scene. You moved your body all by yourself? Yes, I did. It would have been impossible if it weren't for the snow. The snow, huh? Right behind me all the way. Pretty amazing you can make it all the way across. That's a rickety old bridge. It looks worse than it is. It's surprisingly sturdy despite its age. It's like they say, idiots are too stupid to catch even a simple cold. There's one other thing that bothers me. I'll just throw the body into the Eagle River. This is the same argument as last time. It would have been much easier than dragging it all the way to Hazakura Temple. I thought that it would still cast too much suspicion on Mystic Maya. That's why I tried to take the body as far away as possible. Huh, makes perfect sense to me, for the time being. Anyway, what did you do after you crossed the bridge? Use the snowmobile. The snowmobile? I knew that would show up sooner or later. Yes, I had the key. I used the snowmobile to travel from Hazakura Temple to Dusky Bridge. This is the part that was in question the other day, but I asked for more details, always ask about the snowmobile. Let me hear more about the snowmobile ride. And tossing the body in the river, which would carry it 50 miles downstream, wouldn't do a lot of distance? Yeah, I know, it's bullshit. So I rode it all the way to the foot of the bridge. I'm sorry, witness, but now I've got a problem with your testimony. Excuse me? Godot, what are you up to now? That night, after the head nun left the remainder of the training to you, she said she walked from the inner temple back to Hazakura Temple. Yes. Pretty certain that's the record, but she didn't see the thing. Let's recall her comments on the subject. Maybe, but when I made it back to Hazakura Temple, it was there by the main gate, the snowmobile, I mean. The snowmobile was in front of the main gate. This is one of those contradictions, wouldn't you say? Order, Mr. Cadeau. Why are you pointing out contradictions in the witness's testimony? I just say I like things to be neat and tidy, okay? Plays this game better than us, yeah. Oh, well, maybe. Mr. Bikini missed it? Yes, maybe she didn't see it. You think she missed it? That doesn't sound right. Huh, whatever. Even I don't think this is decisive enough to warrant any more time or effort. It's just... you better be careful in your testimony. That's all I wanted to say. A smart little cookie like you shouldn't have any trouble understanding that. Yes, sir. What was that all about? Why would Godot want to give me a hint? Very well then, let's continue with the testimony. Transported the body by snowmobile, all the way to the Hazakura Temple courtyard. Yes, I thought that way. Mystic Maya would never be suspected. That's what I thought, anyway, and then I... used the Shichito to alter the way the wound looked. Is that what you were doing when Sister Bikini saw you? Yes, that's right. She probably thought the worst. Probably, more like definitely. I see. So Sister Bikini mistakenly thought you were the one that murdered Miss Donan. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. It's my fault that this case has gotten so confusing. I don't want to believe it, but I don't think my logic is failing me. Iris is trying to pin the murder on Maya. But why would she want to do that? There's one reason I can think of. Okay, save... dragged it and used the snowmobile. Use the snowmobile. No, it's not that. Maybe we'll just carry it back to Hazakura Temple and use the Shichito to alter the way the wound looked. Right behind me, all the way across Dusky Bridge. I know it said the body fell 10 feet. No. Mr. Maya. So I removed the body from their temple myself. Remove the body from the inner temple yourself. Recall would have him back, but it fell 10 feet after death. No. Behind me, he's snowmobile to carry it back to Hazakura. Did you press everything? I need to press this again to get the other answer. Ask about the tracks. You already did move her body by snowmobile. There should be tracks left in the snow, right? Well, yes, naturally expect tracks. The picture was presented at yesterday's trial. Are these the tracks from that ride? Yes, I think they are. But I can only see one set of tracks here. Don't see what's so strange about that. Snow is still falling when that Hazakura Temple. I see, snow is still falling, huh? Now when the murder took place, it had already stopped. That's why there are such fresh-looking tracks. How about it, Mr. Wright? Everything with testimony. It's important. Okay, so I did do that again. Doesn't make sense if you to consider evidence. Your Honor, like the statement Iris just made added to the testimony. But does it have something to do with the case? All we make clear if you allow her statement to be added to the record. Huh. It should be fun. You, let's get this snow business cleared up, shall we? Yes, sir. Murder took place, the snow had already stopped. Let's press it first. There have been a lot of contradictions in your testimony so far. This time, are you sure it's all true? Yes, I am. When the murder happened, the snow had already stopped. According to you, that's why the snowmobile tracks were so clear. And that's right, I'm certain of it. You've trapped her this time. I see how you think. Snow, huh? Well, what's going on here? If the snow already had stopped by the time of the murder, then there's a bigger hole in her story than the movie The Grid Revelations. Hold on a sec, I need to look it up. The Grid Revelations. Oh, that's meant to be the Matrix Revolutions. Okay, that's what it's meant to be. Yeah, it's the Matrix. Huh. Well then, Mr. Wright, I would like to share your theory with us. See what's up your sleeve, or rather, at the end of your index finger. I don't want to believe it, but I don't think my logic is failing me. Okay, yeah, we got all this already. By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. The snow had already stopped. Is it this? No, because there's no snow around it. Ah, fuck, I have to go through all that again. Sorry. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Look carefully. The snow had already stopped. By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. Yard. Sketch. It's much simpler than that. Is it just the weather data? No. No, we're not. I just want to get this. Not the weather data. Not that. Not that. Those blood wounds. The tracks photo. Not that. Yeah, give a hint, please. Well, evidence data is correct. Okay, do I have to press it first again or something? No. Whether the evidence is correct. But the game is very finicky. It's not that sentence. Let me use snowmobile and... It was there. You claim that the snow had already stopped when the murder occurred, but I'm sorry, Iris. That just isn't possible. What? This is the weather data from the night of the murder. According to this, the snow didn't stop until 10:50 PM. But you couldn't have crossed Dusky Bridge at that time. Why do you say that? Because 5 minutes before the snow stopped, Dusky Bridge was struck by lightning and it caught on fire. What did you say? The bridge, it was on fire? You don't mean to say you didn't know about it? It's because of that lightning strike that the bridge burned down. What? But it can't be. Looks like you still haven't figured it out. No matter how hard you try to deceive or conceal the truth, you can't pull the wool over the eyes of a real defense attorney. Order, order, order. The bridge is already on fire when the incident took place. That's right, the inner temple is already totally cut off from the outside world. There's no way you could have crossed the bridge, body or no body. Actually, I had all the right, yeah. Witness, even my patience has its limits. Any further lying and I will find you in contempt of court. Do you have anything to say for yourself? Objection. The only person here that is truly contemptible is you. Old man. Me? How dare you? Whether this witness lied or not doesn't mean squat right now. Yes, it does. It's a fucking court of law, you fucking piece of shit, Goodo. Goodo. Squat? The important thing is to find out the truth. Isn't that right? Yes, of course, but whether it was snowing or not snowing, or whether the bridge was burning or not, there are two facts that can't be disputed. First, the body of least unknown name was discovered in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. And second, the head nun, Sister Bikini, witnessed Iris desecrating Elise Donim's body. It makes a good point on both accounts. That's right, I'm not lying. What are you claiming this time? I wasn't myself at all that night, so my memory is still somewhat hazy. You stood at that witness stand and testified this entire time, telling us now that your memory of that night is hazy. It's only human to err. If you're so perfect, right? Maybe you can explain this for the court. But what is it? When the murder happened, the bridge had already burnt down. But somehow the body travelled across the bridge and was found in the temple courtyard. Perhaps you have some kind of perfect explanation with this little magic trick? Well, not exactly, no. Well, there's some other way she got across the burnt out bridge. Unless I can somehow demonstrate it, we'll never know the truth. Looks like the defense is not prepared to offer a suitable explanation. I think I have to give evidence right now. So let's pop a save. See what I mean? In other words, you're in no position to suggest this lady's testimony isn't the truth. Alright then, witness, let's hear your testimony once more. About what, Your Honor? You admitted that you moved the victim's body. Nevertheless, your prior testimony contained a rather large inconsistency. Please add an explanation for that to your testimony. Yes, Your Honor. Will this be her final testimony? Moving the body. And I'm going to save it there. On this boppin' tune. Thank you, everyone, for joining me this evening. Let's see if anyone's around to raid. Fuck it, let's raid Maple. And remember, when you join, say, how is my little maple leaf doing? Alrighty. So once again, thank you all, and take care.